All right, Shalom Israel. Welcome back to Wednesday night class. It's good to see everybody. And we had a little technical difficulty, but we're trying to figure out this new camera. But we got it working. We're going to eventually have a... For those that may not know, we're working on a new school. And, we'll work out all the kinks as of now. We might as well figure it out now before we get into a new building. But we're going to try to have a more expert approach to the audio and the video. But until that time comes, we're going to continue to figure this out. And hopefully the sound is good and hopefully the visual is good. But welcome back. Shout out and shalom to everybody and all the families that watch us on YouTube. And shout out and shalom to everybody that's here in person. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's in good health. Amidst the fact that we got to sustain, these bodies, and these temples. Because sometimes these temples get the best of us, through fatigue and sickness. There's a lot of sickness going around. I know school started. A lot of kids coming back home sick from school, being out in the public. A lot of germs. Different rounds of COVID. I've heard COVID is coming back. So eat healthy. Make good choices. Try to be selective in what you put in your body and what you put your body around. And take care of your temples, especially in these sick times, and take extra precaution to eat well and also keep your spirit strong. That's very important. The question is, do we know, shalom sisters online, shalom family online, brothers online, do we know when we're moving, it's almost like the closer we get to the building of the school, we actually have the property, we have the structure, but we don't have the interior kitted out like it's supposed to. But through the help of the Most High and the spirit that the Most High is putting in different brothers from Albuquerque, from Houston, to come down and assist us in the building of it and the construction of it, it won't take long, But it seems like the closer we get to the actually finishing the school, there's another situation, melee, setback that comes into play. But that's to be expected. Anything that's worth building is going to be a fight. And that kind of leads us into today's topic anyway. Today's topic, well, first of all, shout out and shalom to Houston. Sword of Truth, Stream of Wisdom Houston, Stream of Wisdom Norfolk, Virginia, Stream of Wisdom Rochester, New York. And shout out and shalom to Kawakab in Guatemala and his congregation out in California and Atlanta, Georgia. And all the brothers in Florida and Detroit and Albuquerque, New Mexico. Shalom. Hope your families are doing well. But today's topic is called, Is Fortitude the Backbone of All Pain and Suffering? Write that down. Is fortitude the backbone of all pain and suffering? All right? And we're going to kind of go into why this particular spirit is important and why it's necessary. And the importance of it. But first, this is not part of the class, but we're going to read it anyway. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13. First, brother, if you can get this. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 13. And let me get it also. Let's read that.
Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 13. But exhort one another daily.
It says that we got to exhort one another how often?
Daily.
How frequently?
Daily.
Exhort means to incite or motivate each other to wonderful deeds, or laudable deeds, or commendable deeds. So it says exhort one another how often?
But exhort one another daily.
Go ahead.
Well, it is called today.
Because every day is an opportunity to strengthen somebody and for somebody to be strengthened. And it's important that we be strengthened on a daily basis. Read on.
It says, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
It says, because sin can get the best of anybody. What you allow in your mind and what you allow in your behavior could compromise anybody. So if we're not exhorting one another daily, that could be the day that somebody decides to get weak and give up and go backwards or go left or stop fighting or stop trying or to quit. So it's good that we exhort one another daily, because sin is always moving against us and trying to get us to give up. He says, through this deceitfulness of sin, read.
Verse 14.
No, Rick, give me that. It says, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of what?
Sin.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. For we are made partakers of Christ.
It says we're supposed to be made partakers of who?
Christ.
Christ didn't quit. Christ never gave up. He fought to the end. So we're supposed to be partakers of Christ. Read on.
And we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end.
But we got to hold on like Christ held on. So regardless of what's going on with you in your life, in your particular situation and circumstance and condition, you have to hold on. We have to hold on. It's important that we hold on until the end. So that's why today's topic is called Fortitude, the backbone of all pain and suffering. Because we're going to see how important it is. But let's go ahead and next verse. We get into the topic. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 14. Let's start there.
Come.
We'll be a little Josephus today also. Read that.
Come. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 14 reads, let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man.
It says, let go of the what?
Mortal thoughts.
It says, let go of the mortal thoughts. It says, do what?
Cast away the burdens of men.
There are certain things that can become a burden to one another, to us. Situations that we've been through can become a burden. Circumstances that we're in currently can be a burden. Things that we regret doing in life can be a burden. People that we entertain that we shouldn't have entertained or let get to us can become a burden. Regret, depression, sadness. There's a lot of things that can become a burden. So he says the practice that he's asking us to do is to learn how to let things go. We don't know how to let things go. And there's a reason why we don't know how to let things go. And why we let things circulate continuously and live rent-free in our minds. Even the anger at other people. Even the pain that we endured by cause of not having closure on different situations, or a person never apologizing for what they did to me, or whatever. There's a lot of things that we just don't know how to let go of, but it's very important that we learn how to release and free our minds of particular scenarios that do nothing but weigh us down and that hold us back from moving forward. So read that again.
Come. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 verse 14 reads, let go from thee mortal thoughts.
Mortal thoughts are those that pertain to this life. The condition that I'm in, the scenario, my job situation, my relationship situation, my money situation. All these situations, my health situation, all these things can become a burden. Read on.
Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature.
It says, put off now the what?
Weak nature.
And why is that flesh weak like this?
Because they don't cast away.
Why is the flesh able to pull me down so much? Because what we don't realize, yes sir.
No, I thought it was.
It is, but more rhetorical. But the reason being is because we don't realize that we're in a spiritual battle. Paul said the flesh warreth against the what?
Spirit.
The spirit. And the spirit against the what?
Flesh.
It's a war. It is a battle. You're in a battlefield daily between your flesh telling you what it wants versus the spirit saying, no, this is what's good for me. So if you lose that battle today, that's why it says exhort one another daily while it's called today. Because any day you can lose that battle between your flesh and your spirit. Because they're at war the minute you get up. It's a war started. So you got to be able to sustain yourself in the midst of this battle on a regular basis. So the reason why the flesh it has so much pull because it's in direct opposition to the spirit. All right. So he says, verse 14, one more time.
Let go from thee, mortal dogs. Cast away the burdens of man.
Go ahead.
Put off now the weak nature.
Read on.
And set aside the thoughts.
Stop. It says set aside the what?
Thoughts.
So he said let go of the thoughts. And he says set aside the what?
Thoughts.
So he's showing you where the battle starts at.
Thoughts.
It starts in the mind. The battlefield is the mind. It's the way people think. You can look. People lose battles, mental battles, every day, and not realize, man, that my flesh is getting the best of me because I'm letting these thoughts get the best of me. I'm letting these ideas, these situations that I'm in, the circumstances that I'm in, get the best of me. I'm letting people get the best of me. He says, set aside what?
And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee.
Certain thoughts have different weights. Not all thoughts carry the same weight. Some thoughts are light as a feather. Some thoughts are heavy as a brick, as a boulder.
Yeah. Some thoughts are day changing.
Yeah. So every thought doesn't have the same weight. Some thoughts, matter of fact, let's next brother real quick, just to interject on this point. Ecclesiastes 38. Give me verse 18. Like you said, some change by the day. But thoughts do not carry the same weight.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 18, page 93. It says, for of heaviness cometh death.
Some thoughts are so heavy that they bring what?
Death.
They bring about death. Thoughts could be that heavy. We have to not disqualify the weight of certain thoughts not being positive. Some thoughts you hold on to just bring you down. They do nothing but bring you down. They're so heavy that some are quantified as that brings about death. Read on.
And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
And some thoughts are so heavy that it keeps you from being what?
Strong.
Strong. There's some things that we just can't let go of, that we allow to just circulate in the mind, where it keeps you from being at your most potent point. And you would think it's the job, you would think it's the money, you would think it's, if I just move into this new place, if I get if I go back to school, if I just, if I hit the gym, if I do this, if I do this. But we don't even realize that what we're trying to evade and not repair and not fix is the origin of the strength. The origin is in the thoughts. If I can fix and articulate my thoughts and hone in my thoughts the right way, then I can overcome certain weaknesses. I can overcome certain debilitating things that keep me down. He says, some break my strength. Read on.
Verse 19.
Yeah, well.
Verse 19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It says, in affliction also sorrow remaineth.
And in certain situations where if I'm steadily in a constant state of affliction, what remains as long as I'm in this condition? Sorrow. So some thoughts are so heavy that they go with the circumstance. They're tied together with the circumstance, meaning until my circumstance change, I'm going to always feel this bad. Or I'm going to always have this sorrow attached to me because I'm in this certain condition. And I can't, unless this condition changes, the sorrow is never going to leave. It's like a magnet. The condition and the sorrow go together. So he's showing you how thoughts, how they hold different spaces in our minds. Some we just can't let certain thoughts go, especially while I'm in that condition. Read on.
It says, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart.
And it's not the poor. It's not talking about money poor. It's talking about in a state of being. If I'm in a poor state, he says, and the what?
It says, and the life of the poor.
And the life of the poor, meaning if I'm in a poor mental state, He says it's the what?
Is the curse of the heart.
The curse of the heart keeps me in a really bad mental state. So, give me the definition of implicate. Because this is a state of mind that will keep us in this poor state.
Implicate. 1828, Webster Dictionary. It says to involve, to entangle, to bring into connection with.
It says to bring into what?
Connection with.
To bring into connection with. Read on.
Right.
To enfold. What else you got?
It says to show or prove to be connected or concerned.
So it's the connection of my concern. What else? Get the first definition.
The first one was that to enfold, to involve, to entangle.
I want the one that talks about when you have there's a certain, I don't know what dictionary you got. You might have an upgraded.
No, that was 1820.
Because I want this one right here. It says to involve, to bring into connection with, to show or to prove to be connected or concerned. The evidence does not implicate. Okay, that's the second one. To enfold or entangle. That's the one I want. To enfold or entangle. You already read it though.
Yeah, correct.
So he says that some thoughts are entangled, and if you allow yourself to be entangled by certain thoughts, he says you remain in a poor state. Meaning the estate of your mind shall be bad if you let certain thoughts entangle you. Read on.
It says, in affliction also sorrow remaineth, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart.
He said, but if I have the curse of the heart is, I let my thoughts become entangled, and now it affects my state of living.
Would you say it affects your productivity?
Very much so. Very much so it affects the productivity. And how do we know this? Because when you go to, give me verse 20.
Verse 20. Take no heaviness to heart.
He says, take no heaviness to what?
Heart.
He says, don't take it to heart. There's a reason why if you let heaviness stay in your mind too long, what will become your mental estate if you keep it on you? If you allow yourself to meditate on negativity too long or bad situations long. Give me that definition of ruminate. Because this is what happens when you meditate on something too long. That definition of ruminate. Give me the second definition of ruminate. Ruminate. R-U-M-I-N-A-T-E. Ruminate. Because this is what it means to meditate on something that could be good or could be bad. But usually when you're thinking on negatives for so long, there's something that happens. Get that definition.
Ruminate. Right. Which one?
The second one.
The second one. Ruminate. 1828. Webster Dictionary. To muse. To meditate.
It says to muse or meditate, meaning the last thing Yahweh read was do what, Yahweh? In verse 20.
It says, take no heaviness to heart.
But if you let you hold on to heavy thoughts too long, then you're ruminating on these thoughts, which means to what?
To muse, to meditate, to think again and again.
What are you doing?
To think again and again.
So all you're doing while you're not moving forward, because all you keep doing is what?
Thinking again and again.
You're just constantly going through cycles of how come my life sucks? How did I get in this situation? Whose fault is it? I don't like my condition. I don't like my money. I don't like the place I live in. I don't like where I'm at. I don't like what I'm being told. I don't agree with the situation. I don't agree with my circumstance. If you meditate on something or if you ruminate on something too long, there is nothing positive that's going to come from it. Nothing positive comes from ruminating on something negative or thoughts that are heavy too long. That's why he said, let go. He said, put off the weak nature, or put off let go of the mortal thoughts. Set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. You got to cast these thoughts away from you if they hold certain weight. He says to ruminate or to think again and again. Read on.
It says to ponder. It says it is natural to ruminate on misfortune.
It says it is natural to ruminate on what? Misfortune.
On misfortune.
So what do people love to ruminate or meditate on?
Misfortunes.
All the bad things that happen to me.
Yeah.
That's normal. It's normal for people to meditate on the negative. Yes, sir.
Yes, it mentions that like chewing the cud, like a goat.
Yeah, that's the first
Always
definition.
Always chew.
I won't let it go.
Right.
I keep regurgitating the scenario. I keep replaying the situation in my mind. What happens when you keep putting negative thoughts on repeat? It gnaws on your mind. It's chewing on you. You can't let it go. I can't get this out of my mind. I can't let this thought go. And if thoughts are heavy enough and you keep meditating on it, you don't let it go, it says you'll be stuck in a rut of only thinking about the bad of life. He said it is normal or natural for what?
Think on negative. Yeah.
Read that last definition.
It says it is natural to ruminate on misfortune.
It says especially on the things that go wrong in life. We tend to have a habitual nature to think on negative more than we think on positive. That's why he says exhort one another daily while it is called today. He says, lest through the deceitfulness of sin, your heart becomes hardened. Your heart is your mind, and your mind can become hardened if you sit there and meditate on only the bad things that happen in life. There is no good coming from that. You had your hand up?
I was going to say chewing, it also means the same thing while you're ruminating.
It means which you're chewing on negative though.
Yeah.
You're not chewing on nothing positive.
Yeah.
So the natural state of mind of mankind is to only meditate on the negative. And that's dangerous. It's very dangerous. And this is why he said exhort one another. It's why you gotta inspire people around you. Because you know what people's mind be at? Misfortune.
Yeah.
Nothing good's happening to me. I ain't got no good luck. I don't like my pay. You person can get a raise and get a bonus on the job, they still not happy. As soon as they hear that somebody next to them got a bigger bonus, a bigger raise.
Yeah.
How come he got the raise? How come he got the don't you know I work harder than he do? Yeah. How come he got the $10 an hour or he got the $15 an hour? He got the 25-cent bonus. How come I ain't get the 25-cent bonus? You think you better than me? Mm. Oh, you can't. You go to work every day thinking about how come they make $1 more? How come they make $0.25 more? Yes, sir.
I was going to say, too, depending, well, of course, in this scenario, let's say whatever you're thinking about is, absolutely serious. And, the longer you meditate on that negativity, you could potentially, I guess, in a sense, too, depending on how, weak your spirit is, you could potentially, harm others around you, verbally or whatever.
Okay.
When you're thinking about that negative situation over and over and over again, and the people around you who love you, let's say try and check on you or talk to you, you could potentially snap on them and you can push them away from you.
Okay.
I grew up around that quite a lot. A lot of unfortunately, it's a lot of negative people growing up. So I seen that quite a lot.
Who only meditate on only the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't conjure anything good. They can't produce anything good or positive out of their mind because they sat there too long and just kept thinking about the losses. Thinking about the what's unfair, what's unjust. How come it's me? Why do I have to suffer like this? How come everybody's doing better than me? Mm-hmm. How come what I do don't work? How come I'm failing at this? But if you don't let these thoughts go, like you said, different thoughts have different weights. Some are like damn lead weight. Just they'll sink your soul straight to the bottom. You'll be in a pit of vexation and disgust with yourself and everybody around you because you're not happy. It robs you of happiness if you sit there and meditate on negativity too long. Or you chew on it too long. So we got that understanding, right? So give me Proverbs 18 and 14. That's a great point in what you said, Yashawama, as far as snapping on the people around you. But there comes a time when this happens, and we'll get into that in the classroom. Read this right here.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 14.
Mm-hmm. Next brother, give me Romans 15 and 4, right after this.
Proverbs 18 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of a man.
It says, but the spirit of a man, read on.
The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity.
So the name of the game is what?
Sustain.
Sustain. You got to keep up positive thoughts. You got to sustain positive thinking as much as you possibly can. You got to sustain yourself and keep yourself from letting negative, heavy thoughts bring you down and create a downward spiral and denigrate your forward momentum. Because thoughts, man, the war is in the psyche. It's what you tell yourself. It's what you listen to. It's what you allow to get the best of you. The battleground is in the mind. So the name of the game that the Most High wants for us is to keep a strong spirit. Because if I can keep a strong spirit, then it'll help me endure and sustain what?
The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity.
And my infirmities are my misfortunes, my weaknesses, my sicknesses, my things that debilitate me, things that set me back. So if I can keep a strong spirit, I can maintain and sustain myself from not letting myself go and letting negative thoughts get the best of me. So I have to learn how to keep my spirit strong. Romans chapter 15 verse 4.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4.
Next brother, give me Numbers chapter 27 verse 18.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
It says, so everything that's written aforetime was written for what?
For our learning.
And so what he's saying is, if you're going to sustain a strong spirit, you got to go back in time. That's what we have to do. That's why the Most High had the Bible written for us anyway. Because it's the source of our strength. So if you want to sustain yourself and not allow yourself to let negative thinking get the best of you, you have to go back in time and look at all the things that's written. Because all those things that's written in the scriptures is made to sustain us. He says the things written aforetime was written for what?
For our learning.
Read.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures.
So the scriptures will give me what?
Patience and comfort.
And from there, read on.
Might have hope.
And from me adopting patience and comfort from the scriptures, it gives me a fighting chance. Then I have hope. So that's what we're going to do today. So this has kind of been like the introduction of the class, so to speak. So we got to go back in time now. So now let's go to Numbers and look at things that's written aforetime. How did the men in the Bible make it through scenarios and conditions that were unfavorable to them? So let's go to Numbers chapter 27 and let's read verse 18.
Numbers chapter 27 verse 18. Ready?
Yep.
And the Lord said unto Moses, take thee Joshua the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit.
He says, it's a very short verse, but there's a lot of meat in this one verse. He says, the Most High told Moses, he says, take Joshua the what?
The son of Nun.
He said, the son of Nun. Read on.
A man in whom is the Spirit.
Stop. He says, there's something about this man's spirit. He says, a man in whom is the Spirit. When you tell somebody, yeah, man, you go, man, that's the Spirit. What are you telling them? That's positive. What am I telling them? Say it again. I'm encouraging them. When I say, hey, man, that's the Spirit, that's right, you got it. I'm encouraging somebody. What made Joshua say, cause the Most High to say, hey, man, go take that man right there. That man has the Spirit. Go get that man. I want you to do something with that man. He says, that man has the Spirit. But it don't tell you what spirit. He just tells you the Spirit. He don't tell you which one. What about Joshua that's so special, where the Most High handpicked him from amongst all the other leaders that were chosen as spies? He says, "Go get Joshua, the son of Nun, in whom is the what?
In whom is the Spirit,
Go ahead."
and lay thy hand upon him.
It says, and the Most High said, "I want you to handpick him. I want you to lay your hand on him," which is to anoint him and to consecrate him. Read on.
And set him before Eleazar the priest,
And I want you to put him before the priest. Read on.
and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight.
He says, and I want you to give him a charge in the sight of all the priests. A charge is a command or a leadership position. Why would the Most High give Joshua? Why would the Most High tell Moses, "Go pick Joshua, lay your hands on him, anoint him, consecrate him, bring him in front of the priest, and give him a leadership position"? It's something what's in this man's spirit that's causing the Most High to single him out and put him on display. So first, let's find out a little bit about Joshua. Let's go to Numbers chapter 13, verse 8. Numbers chapter 13, verse 8.
Numbers 13 and 8. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Nun. Of the tribe of Benjamin,
Stop. First of all, his name wasn't Joshua. First of all, his name was what?
Hoshea.
First of all, his name was Hoshea. Or Hoshea. His name wasn't even Joshua at first. There's something special about him where the Most High singled him out. And not only singled him out, but he had a conversion. He had a name change. What was so special about this man where he started off this old man named Hoshea, but now he's named Joshua? Because there's something about this man's spirit that caused the Most High to do so. Now, do me a favor. I want you to read this real quick. This is Philo, page 351. I want you to read this for me. When you look at the definition of Hoshea, one of the definitions means welfare. What does that mean in definition of welfare? What does that mean? No, that's what welfare means today.
Welfare.
That means I'm on welfare. That's what people think welfare means, but that's not what it means. What does welfare mean? His name was welfare, meaning that was one of the definitions. It doesn't mean he was poor.
Wellness.
With the definition.
Welfare. It says exemption from misfortune.
Stop. What do people ruminate on?
Misfortune.
What do people meditate on?
Misfortune.
What didn't Hoshea do? He was exempt from what?
Misfortune.
Did he always meditate on what's wrong?
Nah.
My condition sucks.
Nah.
My circumstance is bad.
Nah.
I don't like what I'm going through right now.
Nah.
Did he ruminate on misfortune? No.
Nah.
Even his name from the beginning means somebody who's exempt from what?
Misfortune.
So, because Hoshea does mean welfare, is one of the definitions. Somebody that's exempt from what?
It says exemption from misfortune.
Read on.
Sickness.
He says he didn't let, but it's not talking about he never got sick. He never let what get sick? He never let his mind get sick.
God.
There was already certain qualities and character about Hoshea that already started to stand out. And we're going to prove that this is true when we read later on in the story. Read on. Definition.
Okay. Exemption from misfortune, sickness, calamity, or evil.
He says, so he didn't let his mind become what?
Evil.
That's one thing that was special about Hoshea. He didn't let his mind get evil. He kept a positive mind. And that was just the beginning of why the Most High would even start to look at this man and single him out and put him on display. He didn't meditate on negativity. And we're gonna prove it in just a minute. But give me this right here. 351, just read this part. that yellow part.
Come.
And the green.
Con. Page 351 to follow. Line 121. This much we have thought fit to say on this subject. But moreover, Moses also changed the name of Hosea into that of Joshua, displaying by his new name.
It says displaying by his new name what?
The distinctive qualities of his character.
It says there's certain qualities of his character where that stood out where Moses changed his name. Where the Most High even chose him and gave him a command, because Joshua to me means savior.
Yeah.
He made him a savior-like figure because of the fact that he remained positive. He didn't let negativity get to him. He didn't let negative situations or circumstances change or alter his mental state. So the Most High raised him up and commanded him and anointed him and to be put in front of the tribes, because there was something that there was a quality about him. That quality about him, it was explained in his character. Read on.
Line 122. For the name Hosea is interpreted. What sort of person is this?
Go ahead.
But Joshua means the salvation of the Lord, being the name of the most excellent possible character.
It says that there is no better name than to be named the salvation of the Lord. He says because it explains something within you. That's why Moses changed his name. It's something about this man. This man has a quality and a character that should be exemplified and raised up on high, to where he is not only named the salvation of the Lord, but he becomes a salvation-like figure after Moses. But what's in him, though? Keep reading.
It says, for the habits are better with respect to those persons who are of such and such qualities from being influenced by them.
So he's showing you how his name matched his inner being, his inner man. Because he showed habits of being positive. He had habits of being a savior-like figure. And we're going to prove it. Go back to Numbers chapter 13, verse 16. Just on the name change point.
Numbers 13 and 16. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Jehoshua.
Right. So the Most High changed his name. Moses changed his name. Now give me verse 17.
Come, verse 17. Numbers 13 and 17?
Yes. That might let him out of here. Verse 17.
Come, verse 17. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land where it is, and the people that dwelleth therein.
He said, I want you to go. He told all the spies this. There was 12 of them from every tribe. Joshua was an Ephraimite. He said, go up and spy the land. I want you to check out the quality of the land. I want you to do a soil test. Check out what it produces. Read on.
It says, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they be weak or strong or weak.
It said in the military they call this a salute report.
Yep.
When you're on a scouting mission, you take what's called, it's an acronym, SALUTE. But it means something. The S stands for size. You write down the size of the army. When you go on a scouting mission in the military, you have a little small notepad and you write down what you see. If you're in a hidden covert position, you look and you try to quantify how many enemies are here in this location. That's what the S stands for, size. The A stands for activity. What are they doing? How are they training? Are they farming? Are they doing exercises? Are they mixing chemicals together? What is their activity? And then the L stands for location. What is their geographical location? A lot of these military strategies come from the Bible, because this is what Moses told Joshua to do. Go give a salute report. size of the army, activity, the location. The U stands for uniform. What uniform are they wearing? So we can recognize who's an enemy, who's friend or foe. The U stands for uniform. The T stands for time. What time are they? Is it when you witness this army, this enemy army? And then the E stands for equipment. What type of equipment do they have? Do they have long-range weapons? Do they have grenades? Do they have bombs? Do they have M16s? They got AR-15s. Then what you're doing is you're taking notice of every single aspect of the enemy. And this is what Moses told Joshua and the 12 spies to do. Go give a report, but I want you to check out the enemy, but I also want you to check out the land too. So read that again.
Come, Numbers 13 and 18. And see the land, what is it, and the people that dwell therein, whether they be strong or weak.
He says, check and see if the people are strong or weak. What else?
Few or many.
It's a whole lot of them. How many men we got to fight? Who's all of fighting age? Are they weak? Are they well armed? Read on.
Come, verse 19. And what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities.
And is this land worth fighting for? Is this land worth going to war for and killing these and removing these nations for? Read on.
And what cities they be that dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds.
So are they dwelling in tents or they got fortified positions? Read.
And what the land is, whether it be fat or lean.
And is the land productive or is the land barely producing any crops? So he's telling the 12 spies to go give this report and bring this report back. Read on.
Whether there be wood therein or not. And be ye of good courage.
He says, but I want you to take something with you. I want you to take courage with you. Courage is a state of mind that allows you to encounter danger without fear. It's a mind state. He said, and as you go give this report, take courage with you. Take this mind frame with you, and don't be afraid of what you see. Don't be afraid of what you encounter. He said, be courageous. Go ahead.
And be ye of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land.
And don't be afraid. Go pick some of them fruits and vegetables and bring that fruit back as evidence of how productive the land is. Read.
Now the time was the time of the first ripe grape.
And so Moses knew exactly the time frame that land should be productive. He says he sent them out at the time that the grapes would be in harvest. So he knew that if it is productive, that it should be producing by now. And that you should have something to bring back. Right? What verse is that? Verse 20, right?
That was 20.
Now give me Josephus chapter 3, book 14, paragraph 1.
Book 3.
Yes, it's going to be book 3, chapter 14, paragraph 1. Page 99 in the Josephus, make it easy. Start at line 301.
301. Where has how Moses sent?
No, line 301. It says for
No, the chapter 14, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's line 300.
Yeah, it says for we now have
Yes,
our abode.
that's the one.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is go ahead and call it out.
Come. The Antiquities of the Jews, book 3, chapter 14, paragraph 301. Reads, for we now have our abode near the borders of the Canaanites.
So Moses said that we now have our living on the border of the what?
Canaanites.
Read on.
And nothing can hinder the acquisition of it.
So Moses is already saying nothing can stop us. Moses already has the mind frame that we can't be stopped. But does everybody else have this mind frame? But Moses is already in mind, like, man, listen, we're on the border, and they live right on the other side of this border, but we need what they got. Read on.
Come, when we now at last are fallen upon it, I say not only no king nor city, but neither the whole race of mankind, if they were all gathered together, could do it.
He says nobody can stop us. Moses has a mind frame that he don't care if the whole race of mankind comes against us. He said ain't nobody finna stop us from the mission of taking this land. Look at the mind frame of Moses. Look at the confidence and the courage that Moses possessed. He said, I don't care if all of mankind come against us. We're getting this land. Read on.
Come, for the Canaanites will not resign up their land to us without fighting.
He says, but we got to take it with what?
Fighting.
He says, there is no way around fighting. There's no way around it. In certain conditions, in order for things to get better, you have to fight. You have to fight and not be afraid. You have to put up a fight. And he says they're not just going to hand this land over to us. They're not going to just resign this land and we're just going to walk in here. He said we're going to fight these people. Read.
But it must be wrestled from them by great struggles and war.
So was Moses ready for war?
Come.
Was Moses afraid?
La.
Did Moses have any apprehension?
La.
He said, I don't even care if the whole race of mankind comes up against us. We're going to get this land. They're going to come off this land, man.
Yeah.
They're coming off of it. So, but he sent men to go look at it. He's already in the mind frame. We're going to take it if it's worth it. Read on.
Let us then send spies who may take a view of the goodness of the land and what strength it is of, but above all things, let us be of one mind.
He says, but the only way we're going to take it successfully, we all have to be what?
Under one mind.
So do we understand what Moses is saying? He says, I need y'all to be of one consensus. In order for the Most High to bless it, I need everybody on the same page.
They all had to be in the fighting mentality.
They all have to be in a fighting mentality. And they all have to agree if this land is worth fighting for. They all have to sit and come to the conclusion that there is an advantage to going to war and taking these materials and taking these resources. He said, but just understand, you have to be, when you're building something from scratch, you got to be of one mind. Read.
Come, of one mind, and let us honor the Most High, who above all is our helper and an assistant.
And he says, the Most High, if we give him honor, he says the Most High is our helper and he's our assistant. So he wasn't just being arrogant or cocky within himself and his own ability. He understood that his strength lies in the Most High's help. That with the Most High's help, we can do anything. There's nothing out of reach as long as the Most High is there to give us assistance. So this is the mind frame of Moses. Moses is already in this warlike mentality. Now, give me Numbers chapter 14, verse 21.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 21.
Read that.
But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Most High.
Read.
Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice.
Why was the Most High so angry? Why was the Most High so mad?
Because we kept on doubting on him.
Even though we seem miracles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah?
He's mad because, like, what else do I got to show y'all? Isn't it obvious by now? What is wrong with y'all?
Yeah. He said we didn't hearken to his voice, but he also said what? Look at what I've done for you so far. Look how far you've come in life. And you're getting to this point where you hit a little bit of resistance in life and you're already thinking the worst. That's a slap in the Most High's face. For everything that the Most High has done for us, and as far as He's taken us and what He's gotten us through, to come up against a little bit of resistance in life. And then what? What do?
Forget.
Man,
Quickly forget.
it's horrible. Give me this right here real quick, because I want to give me this part. Give me chapter 13 and give me verse 22.
Numbers chapter 13, verse 22. As they ascended by the south, and came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Shishai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were.
Now, the children of Anak are giants. These are giants. And so already that caused a little apprehension when we rode up on these men. Now, when you look at the children of Anak, and you look at the Rephaim, and you look at these ancient Canaanite nations, when you look at Goliath, these were trained men of war. They were giants. They had 6 fingers and 6 toes.
Gentle giants.
They weren't gentle giants. And these were trained men of war. So naturally, these are ogre type looking guys, man. So naturally, you're gonna say, "Damn, we can't even compete with these guys." But read on.
Now, Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with 1 cluster of grapes.
Go ahead.
And they bare it between 2 upon a staff.
It says it took 2 men to put a cluster of grapes on a staff to carry it. That's how heavy 1 cluster of grapes were. That's why the name Eshcol means a cluster of grapes. They named it a cluster of grapes because how productive the grapes were, how productive the land, how fertile the soil was. Where 1 cluster of grapes, it took 2 men to have to carry it on a stick in between them. That's heavy. So the land is busted with fruit. It's busted with resources. Read.
And they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs.
So they had figs, grapes, they had fruit. Read on.
The place was called the brook Eshcol,
Go ahead.
because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the wilderness, to Paran, to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him, and said, We came unto the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey.
He says it's guaranteed. They came back and they said it's guaranteed a good land without a shadow of a doubt. It flows with milk and honey. We found figs, pomegranates, and grapes that are extremely large in size. So 40 days being on this mission, they saw everything that they needed to see. Go back to Josephus. Give me book 3, chapter 14. Give me line 304. You had that right, Mama?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Covered. The Antiquities of the Jews, Book 3, Chapter 14, Paragraph 304, reads, They also brought with them of the fruit which the land bare. They also showed them the excellency of those fruits.
So they had the fruits. They brought it back. It's evidence. This is no doubt a good land. Read on.
And gave an account of the great quantity of the good things that land afforded, which were motives to the multitude to go to war.
So they went on a 40-day excursion. They came back with the evidence that this land is worth fighting for. They said this is a motive. This fruit is evidence for and motivation for us to go to war. We got all the motivation we need right here in the hand. This is evidence and proof. Look at these grapes. Look at these figs. Look at these pomegranates. This is all the evidence we need to go fight. That's all we need. We've seen enough for 40 days. Man, this is a good place. This is a great place. Read on.
But then they terrified them again with the great difficulty there was in obtaining it.
Stop. Why is the Most High angry? Why is the Most High angry with us?
Because we entertain the spirit of being terrified.
Because when life gets a little bit difficult, what do?
We lose
Yeah.
faith in him.
Yeah.
Quits.
We quit.
Yeah.
We don't want to fight. We don't want to try. All it takes is a little bit of circumstance to not be in our favor. Hit a little bit of resistance in life. Hit a little bit of wall.
Now we're pessimistic again.
And then we turn our minds back to what? Doubt, fear. This can't be done. All it takes is a little bit of a circumstantial change. Situational change. And immediately, the Most High goes out the window. It's impossible. They said what? Read that again.
But then they terrified them again with the great difficulty there was in obtaining it.
He says, then they was terrified and started spreading out to the people. Yeah, we got all the evidence that we need to go fight. But you're not going to believe what we have to do to get it. You're not going to believe the kind of people that we saw there that we have to fight to get these fruits. We already read the mind frame of Moses. Moses said, I don't give a damn if the whole race of mankind comes against us. We're going to get this land. Go search it out. They just came back with a negative report because they were speaking from a point of fear. Remember what Moses told them. He says, the Most High, take the Most High's glory with you. The Most High will be your helper and your assistant. So whatever problems you do see, just know the Most High will help you overcome them. Just know that the Most High will assist you in whatever you're dealing with in life. Whatever the next battle is. Just take faith with you. But what we do is, we get all the evidence of what's possible, and then we throw faith right out the window. We throw the notion that the Most High can assist me out the window. And this is what angers the Most High a lot. Because he'll get us to a certain point in life, not to drop us off, but just to prepare ourselves for the next battle that's coming. But what triggers in our mind is fear. It says they were terrified. And what?
But then they terrified them again with the great difficulty there was in obtaining it.
Read on.
That the rivers were so large and deep.
First they started with the what?
Rivers.
He says, man, you're not going to believe. They got deep water over there, man. They got some real deep water. Did not Israel walk through the Red Sea on dry land?
Yeah.
But that's a sea.
Yeah.
We're talking about rivers here, not a sea. He says they got wide rivers. Now, these are the same people that walked through the Red Sea. Are still coming out like, damn. That's the second generation, actually. But they have evidence that the Most High has been there with them.
Yeah.
And then they come up on some rivers, and the first thing they say is, man, these rivers are wide, man. I don't know how we gonna you gonna let the water, a little bit of a wide river, stop you? He said these rivers are wide and they're deep. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's the first excuse. What else?
That the rivers were so large and deep that they could not be passed over.
We can't get over this water. What else?
And that the hills were so high.
Oh man, you're not gonna believe these hills, man. You're not gonna believe the height and the magnitude of these hills. These hills are too high. What does it sound like?
Doubt.
Sounds like a whole lot of doubt, man. Excuses. This is what we do when we embark on a scenario where the Most High wants to see a fight, we start making excuses. Especially when the Most High wants us to overcome a situation. We start making excuses. The water's too deep. The hills are too high. I'm not sure about this. Read on.
And that the hills were so high that they could not travel along for them.
He said, we can't make it over the hills. They're too high. Read.
That the cities were strong with walls and their firm fortifications.
And the third excuse was what?
The cities were strong with walls and their firm fortifications round about them.
It says they got some heavily bricked up walls. I don't know if we can get through the walls. So the rivers are deep and long and wide. The hills are high. And the walls are too thick. Terrified. Read on.
They told them also that they found at Hebron the posterity of the giants.
And there's giants in them walls. Read on. This is the perfect recipe to not go to war. This is the perfect reason to say, man, we're good where we are. Let's just not go any further. They got all the milk and honey. They got all the pomegranates and the grapes. They got all the figs, but we don't want it. Because it's too hard to obtain it. It's too difficult. Read on.
Accordingly, these spies who had seen the land of Canaan, when they perceived that all these difficulties were greater than they had met with since they came out of Egypt.
So this was the first biggest hurdle that they had to face other than coming out of Egypt. They were terrified and stoked with fear, doubt, and lack of courage. They couldn't move. They were paralyzed with fear. I don't know what I'm going to do because my situation is bad. Yes, sir.
They didn't even have to lift a hand. The Most High did all the fighting for them.
The Most High brought the plagues. The Most High killed the firstborn. The Most High brought the frogs and the flies and the lice. The Most High brought the botches and the scabs. The Most High brought the rivers, turned the rivers into blood. The Most High brought the 3 days of darkness. What did they really have to do? Yes, sir.
You guys going in the military, first go to basic. Now when you army guy MOS, so you special ops, now this is the type of level of training you're going to go through to make it to this rank.
Right.
So it's a course, it's a level of expertise, expectation of the general what to you, but I think it's more side. So if you're willing to go through this, he's just telling you, if you want to be prepared for this, he's preparing them for war.
Yeah.
But like you said, they're not the same faith, the same mindset.
But you have to go to war with a certain mind frame. You have to live life with a certain level of confidence. If you're not living life with a certain level of confidence, you're never going to overcome the hurdles that are in front of you. You're always making an excuse why something is too hard in order to fix it or to overcome it or to defeat it. It's this battle. Even some people could smoke cigarettes and I just can't quit. I just can't quit. It's just too. People quit every day. For good. Cold turkey. But the problem is we ruminate on what? Negative. Misfortunes. It's what we tell ourselves we can't do. It's what we tell ourselves that's impossible. Man, I don't know how long I can hold out.
Yeah. How much more time I got?
How much more time I keep doing this? Yes, sir.
Or they can't stop eating the same foods that they're
making them sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but our people, this is what we do. We're masters of making excuses for every little hurdle in life. Everything that's a problem, we make an excuse for it. Because I don't really want to face it. I really don't know if I'm going to be successful. I don't got enough faith to feel like this is a beatable situation, a winnable scenario. I don't feel like I can. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's true. Everything is true because I felt through that money time. Every time I try to find a excuse, but every time I know the bakery right there is not that much, I find an excuse. Okay, and went back to the world. But I know every time I go back to the world, for anything, guess what? Anyway,
it never works.
But I'm always trying to get into the flesh.
Right, because the flesh is weak, and we're weak to the flesh.
Huh? And weakness is the world.
Yeah,
the world is always going to push you to make the weakest choice.
The world always has open arms for you.
Yeah.
They always got open arms.
Maybe when I get weak, I'm here for
Yeah,
it.
they are. The streets is always there.
They always calling out.
And sometimes you find the same cats on the same block years. They went from high school and grew gray. And grew gray right on that same corner, under that same tree. And they can tell you everything. They're like the Hood Chronicle. They're like the newsstand. They tell you who died, who's sick, who moved out, who moved in, police, where the police at, who's doing what, who's selling what, who stole what. They always got the news. I had a cousin like that. Like she knew like before the news, before you see it on the news, you could actually call her and say, you know, what happened? What happened at the club? I saw it on the news. She know the backstory to the backstory. You know,
Yeah. She did a research.
she knew the details that the news didn't have. You know, she can tell you the lowdown, what it was about. But but our people will do this. They won't change. They won't evolve. They won't evolve because of fear. Our people don't evolve because of what they tell themselves, what they allow themselves to meditate on. I can't do it. It's too much for me. I don't like the situation.
Yeah.
I don't like the adversity that it takes to overcome the situation. It's too much work involved. Read on.
Con.
They
They were.
So as I said, that's how small town living. Everybody knew everything.
says they were affrighted at themselves and endeavored to affright the multitude also.
So they actually were pushing fear now. Because I'm afraid, because the spies were afraid to fight, I start pushing what?
Fear.
I start pushing fear. Fear becomes the narrative now. Now I'm trying to convince other people that it's too much simply because I'm afraid.
Can I ask something?
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me. This reminds me of, like, for us, we have several different endeavors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the business endeavors we get into, there are a lot of first timers. It's a lot of trial and error.
Oh man.
A lot of times we've never done it before, nor do we have reference points. So, it reminds me of a time where we were talking about a particular one we're going to do, and the first thought I had was panic. It was the auto shop. It was panic. It's like, how are we going? We've never done this before. How are we going to move this? How are we going to remove this? How are we going to pull this off? The question I want to ask is, when is precaution because you don't know how to do something? Is that always faithlessness, or is that just you don't want to be overly arrogant in what you don't know, what you're not confident in?
So the question is, when does precaution? When is it not? When is it? You don't want to be arrogant, or when is it fear?
Is precaution always faithlessness, or is precaution? Can it also be considered you don't want to be arrogant? You're trying to avoid arrogance.
Okay, so now I can understand that because you don't want to make no mistakes.
Exactly.
Well, the difference is will the precaution lead to you not trying it?
Okay.
If the precaution is so extreme to where you won't even try it, and you won't do the homework necessary to be successful in it, then yes, that's a point where precaution now has become a crippling mechanism. I'm crippled by fear. I'm crippled by caution because I'm overthinking something. There's a term people use, paralysis by analysis. Meaning if I overthink something too much, I actually don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Because I end up trying to prep and prepare and think about making sure that, you know, this is what I can overthink it. What happens if this goes wrong? Then we've invested this and this happens. And then what happens if we do get involved and now we get sued because this goes wrong? Now I overthink it so much that I become stale and I become immobile. And there is a spiritual explanation for this type of spirit that you're questioning about, that is a result of not having fortitude. That what you just explained or asked, there is a spiritual explanation behind it, and understanding behind it. But that's the spirit for those that don't possess the spirit of fortitude. That's the spirit that comes upon them. And we're going to get into that point.
Okay.
But that's a great question, because when am I overthinking something so much where I won't initiate anything at all?
Yeah.
Amongst sports enthusiasts, they say that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah.
So you'll always miss 100% of the shots that you don't take because you never even attempted. So you'll always fail in something that you never attempt. That's why people say shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. And that comes in different forms. Shooting your shot comes in different forms. But if you never try, then you never know. You never give yourself a chance to find out if the Most High is with you or not. So that's why in the faith that is seen is not what? A hope that is seen is not what? It's not hope. So there's a lot of things that we don't know. We just got to do it. Half the things that we've done as a camp have been on trial and error.
Yeah.
I remember the first actual move job that we ever had. The very first one we ever did was in an apartment complex on Wurzbach. Very first one. Dude had a 1-bedroom apartment, and we had 10 men in there. And the dude was like, "You don't think this is a lot?" You don't think this is a lot for one job? We didn't even have a moving truck. We didn't even have a U-Haul. We had a minivan with the seats taken out. We used a minivan with the seats removed to remove this guy's apartment. And the guy was like, "Man, that's a lot of people in here." He kept saying, like, you don't think this is a bit much? You got 10 people in here. And, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, no. And then what's so bad is the couch, the sofa and love seat, we know now, can come apart with a Velcro strap on the bottom.
Yeah.
You can separate the couch, the top cushion from the bottom cushion.
Yeah.
We didn't know that.
Yeah.
So then the couch was heavy as hell. And then we had 9 men standing around looking at how we're going to get this couch out. It's like, man, you got a lot of people in here. And you can't even get the couch out the place. And then finally a brother was like, "Man, this thing got to come apart somewhere." And the brothers wheels start turning. And they finally realized you could unloose the Velcro on the back and pinch the little hinges and the top part come out. It was like, oh. And then he had a table that was too big to get out the front door. We didn't know where it comes apart at. So he had 10 men staring at a table. And the guy was like, "Well, y'all got it? Y'all sure y'all got it? It's a lot of men that's just standing around now. Because nobody knows what they're doing." Gotcha. And then we finally figured out, okay, you got to flip the table upside down to unscrew it. We flipped the table upside down, and the wine bottles that was hidden inside the tables came out.
Oh.
And hit the ground. Blah, 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 blah. Mess everywhere. So now it looked like 10 guys that broke champagne bottles. Now it looked like 10 guys that are just rookies.
Yeah.
It was just a mess, man. And then finally we got it out. Got it downstairs and got it out. Figured it out. But we had another scenario where we were moving an arcade room.
Yeah.
And the guy, Shiv Knight. Then the guy, another situation. We had finally got some shirts printed, so we looked professional. We was all wearing the same color shirt and the same shirt, so we looked professional. But we ain't never touched no arcade machine. Didn't know how to unplug them. Didn't know how to get them out. Didn't know how to move them. Didn't realize how heavy they are. Didn't have the right equipment. Everything was homemade. And the guy said, "Man, when I saw all y'all here with all these shirts on, I thought y'all got this, man." He said, "Man, all y'all with these pretty shirts, y'all don't know what y'all doing." Well, you know what? You're right. He said, "We don't know what we're doing." but we look the part, and we're going to figure it out as we go. And that has been the birth of how everything has been, because we're never too afraid to try it. And if there's errors and mistakes, and we got some horror stories. We got horror stories. We got a whole class could be about all the mistakes we've made. From scratching TVs with razor blades, flooding houses. Oh, we got stories.
Yeah.
Breaking antiques like one of a kind, irreplaceable, priceless antiques that go back to their grandparents. That are one of a kind, one of one. Can never be put back together. Yeah, fifth generation antiques and relics smashed and right in front of the customer's face, where they scream. Ah! Some brothers know what I'm talking about. Where they scream like that's almost like breaking somebody's urn with ashes in them. You know, but did we do that? I don't know if we did that. No, I don't think we done that.
I don't think we done that one.
I think we misplaced the urn because we thought it was because it was it just looked like a regular vase. That's all. It looked like a regular vase. But the point is, what the Most High has to give you, it has to be accompanied with a fight. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
He don't give you anything. You got to fight for it. And you got to have the right mentality to embark and engage on what he has to give you as a blessing. And you're not rewarded unless you put the effort in. But you can't be horrified, terrified, and too afraid to put your best foot forward to attempt to be successful and engage in war in order to get the blessing. The Most High could have easily gave the children of Israel the land of Canaan. But would they ever have to have faith in the Most High and learn how to depend on Him to do so? Would they ever understand that the reward doesn't come unless I go at my fears? Unless I overcome my fears. The Most High doesn't give us anything that's a slam dunk like that. He'll give you the resources. He'll give you the opportunity. But you got to walk through the door. You got to do everything that it takes to be successful and inherit what the Most High has to offer you. But you got to be willing to say, okay, I need faith in this situation, and I'm only going to make it with the Most High. And if as long as I got the Most High with me in this, then I'm gonna keep trying, and I'm gonna overcome my fears, because I believe the Most High is an effective power. But there is a point when, and we'll get to that in the class, when we do stall out in life because we either overthink or we don't have something that's necessary to overcome the situation and the circumstance. And we're gonna get to that. Let's continue reading in Josephus, right?
Paragraph 3.
Yeah, you're in line, what line you on?
Is that 306?
306, keep reading.
So they supposed, from what they had heard, that it was impossible to get.
So the impression that the spies that had the doubt and the fear, the impression that they left on the people was what? That it is what?
That it was impossible.
That it was impossible to do what?
To get the possession of the country.
He says to get the possession of the country. Read.
And when the congregation was dissolved, their wives and their children continued their lamentation, as if the Most High would not indeed assist them, but only promised them fair. They also
Stop right there. Wait, and there's some numbers that you pulled from the internet?
Yeah, it's talking about the negative self-talk.
Yeah, so read some of the stats right there that you pulled on this point. That negative self-talk.
Yeah, it says, we continually narrate our lives, generating an estimated 80,000 snippets of mental dialogue daily.
What does that mean? Yeah. He says, we entertain, he said 80,000 snippets of what? Dialogue. Meaning it's this is a lot of speech, a lot of self-talk But is it positive self-talk? Read.
We tend, however, to think mostly negative thoughts.
It says we ruminate on mostly what?
Negative thoughts.
So if we have 80,000 small dialogues that we go through on a regular basis in our mind, and most of it is negative, how can you produce something positive? How can you yield something productive when you've thought about, meditated, and told yourself 80% of the time that something's not going to work? Read on. Oh, what you got, that one?
No, I was just thinking as I think this solution.
Yeah, kind. But you're thinking, you're meditating on this. You're thinking again, and you're chewing on this. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Then usually what happens is, what I do in that situation, if I don't have the conclusions or the answers, or I don't have the faith, I lean on the next man's faith. I lean on the man's faith whose faith is stronger than mine to say, is this possible? And if he says possible, we're going to ride with your faith.
Yeah.
Even though mine might be a little short. Then I'm gonna pull a lifeline. Hey, I'm gonna pick up the phone. Hey, man, I don't know if this will work, but well, you know what? Let me ask this person. This person got more faith and belief than me. So let me go ahead and make this phone call and lean on that person's faith to see if this is possible. I don't want to discount what is possible because I don't believe or I have fear. Then let me run it by this brother. Is this possible? You'd be surprised that if you don't have enough faith, sometimes you got to borrow it. You got to borrow belief sometimes on those that have it, and say, "Well, shit, if he said that we can do it, we're gonna do it." And it don't matter if it's younger or older. Sometimes we lean on other men's visions and ideas. If it's a good idea, you know what? What's wrong with it? Let's try it. Let's not say it ain't gonna work. Let's just give it a try. There's times when we've been as a camp, and some leaders, not the current leadership, some leaders have been too afraid to try things. And or they'll jump into it, but they won't think about it. They won't put no thought into it. Or they'll say, well, let's try it, but you gotta spearhead it. But you're leaning on their faith to do it. So you can't spearhead it if you borrow their faith or you leaning on their faith.
Yeah.
But what we do is we carry ourselves with such a but it's gonna say it. Read on. It's gonna say it.
This discourse, known as negative self-talk,
It says negative self-talk. Go ahead.
makes up roughly 80% of our internal dialogue, according to experts.
Negative self-talk is 80% of that inner voice, that consciousness that we have. He says 80% is negative. Yes, sir.
That's how you talk yourself out of stuff.
That's how you convince yourself not to do something.
Yeah.
I don't got what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
The complaints often begin with I can't, I won't, or I'll never. And these negative statements carry more psychological weight than positive thoughts.
It says so more negative thoughts ruminate in our mind than positive. So which one is going to be more victorious? The negative. Read.
This relentless badgering can compromise confidence
It says it can compromise confidence. What else?
for even the most self-assured people.
So even the most confident people can fall victim to constantly thinking negative and listening to the negative things that they come up with in their mind. What you tell yourself. What you tell yourself isn't possible. Can't happen. Never gonna happen. Too late for me. Everybody but me. All these thoughts constantly cycle through our heads. Let that go. Yes, sir.
And it's very important to just remember that weaker influence is easy for the flesh to move into.
Yeah, very much so.
It's almost like a worldly law right there.
Quitting is always an option.
Yeah.
I can always just quit.
Yeah.
I can always pull that card out. That's an easy card to pull because it's always available. That card ain't never out of reach. It's always like right here. I quit. Yes, sir.
There's a saying in the world that if I don't try, I can't fail.
Exactly. If I don't try, I can't fail.
That's true. You won't be disappointed.
Or you can't fire me if I quit. How can you fire me if I already quit? You can't fire me because I quit already. But that negative mind is always available. It is always ever present. Finish that in line 306.
So they supposed, from what they had heard, that it was impossible to get the possession of the country.
So the effect that the spies and the 10 negative outlooks of the spies that came back with a negative report, they put that spirit on the rest of the people. They made the rest of the people feel like, man, this is not worth fighting for. Even though you got the evidence of the grapes, you got the evidence of the figs, you got the evidence of the pomegranates, you got everything necessary for motivation to go to war. You got all the motivation in front of you. But you let somebody tell you it's not possible. Read.
And when the congregation was dissolved, they, their wives, and children continued their lamentation.
It says they cried, man. They wept. Read.
As if the Most High would not indeed assist them.
So when you allow yourself to meditate on so much negative, you start to think that the Most High is unavailable to you. That the Most High is no longer dealing with you. That He's no longer working with you. That He's no longer accessible for you. You can psych yourself out of the Most High's presence. That's how strong the mind is. That's how negative the mind is. You can psych yourself out to believe that there's no God and that there's no help. That's a strong thought. Yes, sir.
Okay, it's the difference between an instructor and a teacher. A teacher's going to take time to show you how to be in the battle, how to do it. Like an instructor, I give you the whole layout. But I'm telling you, teaching, you have to have the right teacher that's going to take the time, you know, to teach you well, you know, okay, I'm going to teach you how to get your head together. I'm going to do the story, you know, but the most I can overall see it. If I just talk, oh yeah, this is how you're going to do this, how you're going to do it, but I'm going to teach you how you're going to get over it.
This is why the Most High said in Galatians chapter 4, verse 1, read that.
Galatians 4:1. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a
It
child,
says the heir is somebody who is in line to inherit a position, a high position, a leadership position. He said, but long as he is a child, he's young. Read.
differeth nothing from a servant.
So while you're in the position of having to follow and you're not the leader, he says, in order to be the best leader, you have to posture yourself as the best what?
Servant.
Servant. So if I'm going to adopt the mind frame of the leadership of the teachers or the examples in front of me, I got to learn how to serve them. Because I have to learn how to think like they think. So I have to learn how to serve them. Read on.
Though he be Lord of all.
Though I might be future leader, this is what made Joshua special, because Joshua was Moses' minister. He personally served Moses. So he learned how to think like Moses. He learned to develop the expectations of Moses. He adopted the faith of Moses. He had the can-do attitude of Moses. Moses wasn't afraid. He just sent the spies out to go take a look. Is it worth fighting for? Only 2 people came back and said, yeah, it is fighting for. Why? Because they were the best servants. Read on.
Verse 2. But is under tutors and governors.
So, but in the meantime, before Joshua got appointed and tapped on the shoulder and initiated to be commander and to be a leader and put on display in front of the children of Israel, he was in a position under tutors and governors. He had to be under tutors and governors like we are. Before the Most High lets us loose with leadership and authority, he says it's best that you remain under what?
Tutors and governors.
For how long?
Until the time appointed of the Father.
Until the Most High says, you know what, you've learned everything that you need to learn, specifically the faith of your elders, specifically the hope and reassurance and confidence of your elders. Now I can go ahead and let you be a leader. But if you don't have their faith, how can you lead the people? Otherwise, You're going to be pumping fear into the people. You're going to be telling the people what's not possible, what can't be done, just like we're reading here. These men don't have Moses' mind frame, that can-do attitude. They've already stoked and started a depression mode on the people that, man, it's impossible. We can't do it. The rivers are too wide, water's too deep, hills too high, giants, and behind thick walls that are impenetrable. We can't do it. Read, let that go. Finish that.
As if the Most High would not indeed assist them, but only promise them fair.
It says that the Most High would leave them hanging, bring them to a point, and let them fall. Read.
They also again blamed Moses.
Now, they're without confidence. They're terrified with fear. They feel like nothing's possible. They don't want to fight anymore. They don't want to inherit the land of Canaan. And now they're doing what?
They're blaming Moses, and made a clamor against him and his brother Aaron, the high priest.
It says now they're turned against Moses and they turned against Aaron. He said they made a clamor against them and the high priest. Read.
Accordingly, they passed the night very ill.
It says that night when they got that negative report from those spies, he says they passed the night very ill. Meaning, what was on their mind all night?
Negative
fear.
The six of them, like, oh man, like, and this is, I don't know how to explain it. I had one like that too, experience. Like, man, like, the scriptures to me, exactly when that now.
But yes, they passed the night very ill, but let's find out what that means. Read on.
And with continuous language against them.
Go ahead.
But in the morning they ran to a congregation, intending to stone Moses and Aaron.
It says, so what was there on their mind all night?
Murder.
Murder, man. They had murder on their mind all night. He said when they passed the night with ill, he says, they passed that night very ill and with continuous language. Meaning all night, all they kept doing was cussing Moses and Aaron out and blaming them all night.
He's setting us up.
Yeah, and then they kept feeding on it. They were chewing on it. All night. He brought us all the way out here just to run up into these damn giants. He expect us to kill these giants. He want us to die. He want us to see us fail. Does he know how wide these rivers are?
Yeah.
He knew the rivers are wide. Did he realize how high them hills were? He knew them damn. He brought us here just to see us fall. That man don't love us. All night they were chewing on this negative. Think about how we just explained how negative cycles in the mind. And if I pass the night very ill, meaning I have an ill outlook all night, I don't sleep. I'm sitting there thinking about, we got to get rid of these guys. We got to get rid of, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. We got to get rid of Moses and Aaron. We got to take them out. They're preventing us from being happy and safe. They're trying to expose us purposely to danger to get rid of us. If anybody pass the night ill with an ill mentality, you will conjure up some devilish works and tactics by the morning. You knew that what they were conjuring was ill all night by the first motion that they had in the morning. What is the first thing they try to do in the morning? Read that again.
Intending to stone Moses and Aaron, and so to return back.
Now you got to read that part where it says,
and with continuous language against them. But in the morning they ran to a congregation.
Stop. He says in the morning they ran to what?
To a congregation.
Man, they went to create a mob. This is what you call a lynch mob. They created a faction of individuals that thought like them. Y'all know what this man is doing, right? Y'all realize that he's pushing us and he's trying to get rid of us. He don't really care about us dying or living. We was better off in Egypt. When our people get pushed to a certain particular position in life where it's extremely uncomfortable and they have to fight and overcome fear and they don't want to, then they start internalizing, why are you pushing me to something that I don't like and I'm not comfortable with and I don't want to do. Now I turn my sights on you. Now I got to turn my hate and my anger on you because you're pushing me past my limits. You're pushing me past what I believe is possible. So when you push people past what they believe is possible, they get angry. We're going to prove it. Next, brother, go to Exodus chapter 16. Yes, sir.
It's almost like that fear turns to anger.
It does. And we're going to prove it. It does. That's exactly what it does. Exodus chapter 16, 1 through 3.
Yeah. Exodus chapter 16, verse 1. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. Exodus chapter 16, verse 2. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses.
It says they did what?
Murmured against Moses.
They did what?
Murmured against Moses.
Read on.
And Aaron in the wilderness.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to the Most High we had died by the hand of the Most High in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger.
So what are these people meditating on? Where we were better at. We were better off. If we was going to die, we could have died right where we was getting fed well. We didn't have to come all the way out here to die. We could have died where we was comfortable at.
Yeah.
Well, I had good food.
Yeah.
I had flesh pots full of food. I had a refrigerator full of food. You didn't have to bring me all the way out here to starve me out. Why bring me all the way out here just to starve me out? If he's gonna kill us, I pray that the Most High kill me back at home, where it's comfortable. I don't have to die like this. I shouldn't have to die like this. So now there's a conversion. When you push our people past their limitations, they convert fear into retaliation, and it changes. They don't want to face their fears anymore. So they look at the person that they feel like is pushing them to their fear is the problem. You're the problem because you're pushing me to my fear. And I don't have enough faith to overcome my fear. So now I just got to get rid of you. Because you're the problem. When it's actually my fear is the problem. My lack of faith is the problem. But our people don't understand this. Yes, sir.
I eliminate you, I don't have to fear them.
I don't have to face what it is that I'm not good at. I don't have to keep getting pushed to this area where my faith is obviously short. I don't got to feel like I'm losing, or I'm a loser, or I feel less than who I think I am. Yes, sir.
So when if you're going, I don't have to fight it.
I don't got to fight. I don't got to fight my fear.
Yeah.
But that's what our people do. We hate the people that push us to strength. The people that actually care about us are the ones that push us to strength. And those are the ones that we actually have the worst outlook for into. Because they're making me go into a battle that I don't feel like I can win. So instead of me getting confidence, having courage, and having the spirit to fight, I tell myself, you're my problem. It's like somebody hate the teacher. Somebody hate the coach. Somebody hate their parents. We hate the teachers. Yes, sir.
You know, this martial art is ranking levels. It has a different route. Right? You know, over there, all teachers when we find a certain sensei or they find us, they say when the student is ready, the sensei, the master will attend.
Yeah, when you're ready. But how far are you ready to go? How much training are you willing to undergo? Are you gonna, or do you feel like a lot of fighting is confidence? A lot of fighting is you train just equally as hard as the next man. But it's the ones that win are the ones that don't give up. It was a guy, I think it's Demetrius Johnson was his name. Mighty Mouse, is that him? Or no, it was another guy. I can't remember his name. Basically, he was in an MMA fight, and the guy had his arm to where it was completely popped out of socket, and he wouldn't tap. I mean, literally, his shoulder was bulging out, and he had his arm twisted behind his back, and his shoulder popped out of socket. He wouldn't quit, and he still came back and won the fight.
Wow.
And you can see this guy bone sticking out. Ow! I forgot the guy's name. It wasn't the Mighty Mouse dude, but when you tell yourself, "I'm not gonna give up," my shoulder is sticking out, but I'm not gonna give up. I think Kobe did that in a basketball game too.
Yep, Achilles. Yep.
No, he pulled his shoulder out.
He tore his Achilles and he dislocated his hand.
Yeah, but also his shoulder came out, and then he had to shoot with the other hand. And they had
left hand. Yeah.
Who was it that did that? Was it? But I think his shoulder came out, and they had to pop it back in and kept playing. But when you tell yourself, "I'm not going to quit," you have that type of determination. You've convinced yourself that nothing's going to stop you. That's something that our people don't tap into enough, especially with regards to the Most High. Now, our people will show that in sports, but not in the spirit where the Most High wants us to say, "Man, I got the promised land waiting for you. I got milk and honey waiting for you. I got pomegranates. I got grapes that take 2 men to carry. I got all this waiting for you." Why are you allowing fear to tell you that I don't exist and I can't help you? Why are you turning it on Moses? Moses understands this. He don't like it. Read that again, verse 3, 16.
Exodus chapter 16, verse 3. And the children of Israel said unto them, "Would to the Most High we had died by the hand of the Most High in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger."
When Israel starts talking like this, there's a certain spirit that's starting to resonate with Israel when they start talking like this. You just want to see me dead, then you just could have killed me then. You'd have to take me all this far to do it. When Israel start having that kind of language and that kind of speech, they're on the verge of something.
Yep.
Hold this. Let's go to Josephus. Chapter 3. We're going to go to page 79. Chapter 3, paragraph 1. On book 3, chapter 1, paragraph 3. Page 79. What we find out is that what we have trouble with is rising above the situation. We always have trouble rising above and getting confidence to overcome bad problems or bad situations or difficult situations. We never look at the situation big picture. You're going to explain. Read this right here. Let's go to line 11. Mm-hmm.
Antiquity of the Jews, book 3, chapter 1, and
line 11.
line 11.
Paragraph 3, line 11.
Yeah, paragraph 3, line 11, page 79. The trees also were too weak to bear fruit.
It says, so this is us, like we read in Exodus 16, complaining right out of Egypt. He says, we came up on a place where the trees didn't produce fruit. They were too weak. There weren't enough nutrition in the soil to produce fruit. Read on.
For want of being sufficiently cherished and living by water.
And so they was too dehydrated to produce fruit. Read on.
So they laid the blame on their conductor.
So every time we're in a situation that the circumstances are not favorable for us, we blame it on the person that we feel like brought us in the situation.
Right.
Who's in charge of this situation? What kind of shit show is this? What kind of circus is this? We use all this kind of language. Who's in charge of this circus? That's what we say. But we're looking for somebody to blame. He says, is it Moses' fault that the tree didn't have enough water to produce fruit? But in Israel's eyes, it's his fault. Soon as my condition is unfavorable and I don't like my condition, I immediately start looking for somebody to say, hey man, you are the reason why my situation is what it is. I never expand my point of view, we stay narrow-minded. We never rise above the scenario with positive outlooks and think about, hey man, this maybe the next city will have some doable fruits and vegetables. Well, the Most High brought us out of Egypt. Obviously, He wants us to live. Maybe He'll have somebody bring us some fruits and vegetables. We're going to be all right. Read on.
And made heavy complaints against him.
It says, but we lay blame on our conductor, whoever's in charge, and then we start to make heavy what?
Complaints against him.
And what else?
And said that this, their miserable state, and the experience they had of adversity were owing to him.
It's all your fault, Moses. These damn trees suck. They ain't got them. They dry. They dehydrated. They ain't got no fruit on them. Moses, these dates is withered up. It's your fault. We never rise above. We always blaming is the easy recourse. It's easier to blame than it is to fight. It's easier to charge fault than it is to have faith. It's easy to think negative versus thinking what's possible. And that's the problem that you'll find historically with our people. We always look at the worst situation, the worst case scenario. We always look at the scenario the worst. Yes, sir.
We easily accustom our minds to yield to being discouraged.
Yes,
And
we train our minds that way because we think about negative all day anyway, half the time. So we never think about, hey man, this is just a phase. This is just a hurdle. This is just a speed bump. This is just a minor setback. No big deal. We don't think like that. I got you. But what we do is we look for a fall guy. We look for an object of contempt. We look for somebody to lay the blame of that my faith, I ran out of faith. And now it's your fault I ran out of faith. Read on.
for that they had then journeyed an entire 30 days.
Because we just came out of Egypt and we've been 30 days out of Egypt, and now these trees are withered up. Read.
And had spent all the provisions they had brought with them.
And all our extra resources are gone. We done ate everything we came out of Egypt with. We ran out of provisions. Barley, meal, fruits, all that stuff is eaten already. All the water's gone and the food is gone. Read.
And meeting with no relief.
And it says, and we're finding out that there's no relief. There's no break. We can't catch a break. No comfort. Read on.
They were in a very desponding condition.
What's the mind frame that our people get into when we don't have enough faith to overcome a scenario?
Very desponding condition.
Get that definition. This is the mind frame of Israel when our condition is a challenge. We don't rise above the conditions. We don't have enough faith to do that. But we damn sure will blame somebody, because that's easy. Oh, it's your fault. You led us on this journey. It's your fault. You told me to believe in the Most High. I was fine being an unbeliever. I was fine just going to church once a week. I was fine where I was at spiritually. You pushed me on a spiritual journey. You threw me into this pool of belief and faith. I was fine in the world, not knowing the truth. That's what people say, man. When they hit a wall of unbelief, when they hit their limits of faith. Get that definition of desponding. The first and second definition. He said there was heavy desponding.
Desponding, 1828, West Dictionary. Losing courage to act in consequence of loss of hope.
It says losing courage to what?
To act.
Why don't I fight? What am I missing to fight?
Courage.
I ran out of faith, and faith would have given me enough courage to keep fighting. Our people will run out of courage and is left in a state of mind. I don't want to fight. I can't fight. I don't have it in me to fight. I don't have enough faith and belief that it's going to work. I stop trying. I quit. It's too much. Read.
It says, losing courage to act in consequence of loss of hope.
It says, in consequence of not having enough faith, my hope goes in the tank. This happens when the conditions are unfavorable to us. All it takes is a little bit of discomfort in our lives, and then we want to throw everything out the window. The Most High, maybe He's good for other people, He's not good for me.
Yep.
Maybe the Most High cares about other people more than me. Maybe I'm not good enough. I don't understand. Man, we so easily filled with this desponding narrative. It's sickening to the Most High. It angers the Most High. Second definition.
It says, or of deep calamity, or of difficulties, deemed insurmountable.
It says, or we get into a situation where we feel like it's insurmountable, meaning we can't overcome this situation. It's too difficult.
It says, sinking into dejection.
It says sinking into what?
Dejection.
So you know what? I don't want to try no more. I want to give up. Whatever happens to me, happens to me. You know how easy it is to fall into this mentality? Simply because the conditions that I'm in change. And I don't see my way out. I can't rise above the scenario. I can't think big picture that this is only temporary. That this, like the scripture says, this too shall pass. I don't have enough scriptures feeding me in my mind to help me overcome this particular hump that I having a hard time dealing with. We fall into this. Read where it says other depressed.
It says despairing with depression of spirits.
It says despairing with depression of spirits. I'm in a rut now. Depression comes from an idea that I'm inadequate to change my situation. I can't do nothing about it. My scenario got the best of me. My circumstance, my living conditions, my money conditions, is kicking my butt. It's gotten the best of me. No, it doesn't. If you don't allow it to get the best of you, it's what you tell yourself. That's the problem. Read on.
It says to lose all courage, spirit, or resolution.
It says the reason why those spies came back with a negative report, because of what they saw, stole the courage out of them. Deep rivers, wide rivers, high hills, thick walls, and some giants stole their courage. Read on.
It says to lose all courage, spirit, or resolution.
They said they lost spirit, man. Now, resolution is confidence. Resolution is a firmness of mind. When you have a resolute mind, you have a stiff mind, you're unwavering. You don't care, nothing's gonna knock you off your faith. Nothing's gonna knock you off belief. Read.
It says to sink by loss of hope.
Go ahead.
That's second.
It says the others.
Okay. Others depress their own minds.
Stop. What do people do?
Depress their own minds.
How do you depress your own mind? Say it again.
It's like, okay, I'm just constantly, I'm in a relationship, right? But I'm trying to get married constantly, but I'm not married.
Yeah. I depress my own mind because I sit there and I listen to bad thoughts. I listen to myself imagine negative thoughts.
Sure.
I create and fabricate negative thoughts. Then I start believing them as if they're real. I entertain them to the point where I bring them into existence. They look real to me. Yes, sir. We bring life to it. We We animate the negative thoughts like a cartoon. Like Walt Disney, bro. But of negative thoughts. We create negative characters. It says we depress our own thoughts. We depress our own mind. That be the biggest enemy is us. Is the way we think. There's something wrong with the way we think. Yes, sir.
We create this scary movie in our thought. The movie ain't even there. You just create that terror movie in our mind.
That figure. Yeah, kind of.
I agree, and that's what makes it so real. We can talk about this like it's really not our particular problem, but when our particular problem comes, the stuff is real.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's true to us. It's true. Like, no, man, you don't understand. What I'm going through is this severe.
Yeah.
As if somebody else isn't going through the same thing or haven't gone through the same thing. But me, man, you're just not going to believe it because what I'm seeing, you're just not understanding what I'm saying.
Right.
It's this bad.
Right.
Is it really this bad? Or you don't have enough positive thoughts and scriptures to counter the negative, to overcome the negative, to say what is possible.
To gain that faith.
It said, but we fall into despondency, so we get into the blame mode. I got to hurt somebody. I'm about to take it out on somebody. When we go into this mind frame where it says others depress their own minds. Finish that, Kariah?
It says, others depress their own minds and despond at the first difficulty.
And it says, and they start desponding. Some people are so fragile. Is that all it takes is one difficulty. And they're ready to do what? Quit. He said at the first difficulty. At the first sign of, man, this don't look right. I don't know how I'm going to do this. The first sign. This looks too hard for me. Some of us go into this mentality immediately as soon as we hit a hurdle in life. Some of us, we suffer it a little bit. We endure it a little bit, but it starts to get the best of us over time. It starts to wear down on us. We fall into despondency later. It takes a couple of situations of events that are not successful and painful, and then we start wearing out, and then we start falling into maybe this ain't gonna work. Maybe it's not good enough. Some people just as soon as they hit a wall, hey man, I don't know, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I got rejected. It's like you try to initiate a relationship. Hey, how you doing? Oh, she told me no. No. See? Look at the face. Look at the face. See? You guys should look at me. It's no way. It's not going to happen. Not in a million years.
She's out of my league.
She's out of my league. Yep. See? Didn't even smile. See?
I tried.
See? There's no way. It's not going to happen. I quit. I won't even make a second effort or a second attempt. Because some people despond on the first sign of difficulty. Hold that. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 57. 2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 57. Next brother, give me Genesis chapter 3 verse 22. Next brother, give me Revelation chapter 22 verse 14. So we got 2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 57 and 58. Genesis chapter 3 verse 22. Revelation chapter 22 verse 14. Let's read that. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Let's get 2nd Ezra first.
What was the verse 7?
7 and 57.
2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle.
Guess what? The Most High put us all in a situation where we have to overcome fear and conditions that are not comfortable. And that's due to the first mistakes that Adam made when he sinned. Adam, through disobedience, initiated the battle. But we got to all overcome this now because sin has been introduced in the world. And as a result, we got to fight now. We have to fight. We have to become overcomers. Read.
Says, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Go ahead.
that if he be overcome,
that if you be overcome, if you let negative or resistance defeat you, or if you let negative thinking, sinful thoughts defeat you, read.
he shall suffer as thou hast said.
Yeah, in the end, we'll suffer if we let sin and negative defeat us. Read on.
But if he get the victory,
If you get the victory, meaning I can't let sin get the best of me. I can't let my own mind, negative mind, get the best of me. I can't even let my own negative thinking get the best of me. I can't let it win. I can't fall into despondency. Read.
he shall receive the thing that I say.
He shall get the victory, receive the reward. Read.
For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived.
Because Moses was trying to teach us this from the very beginning. Moses been trying to teach us something. Which is what?
Saying, choose thee life,
Choose thee life. Read.
that thou mayest live.
So he says choose life. And when you read Deuteronomy 30, he says choosing life is keeping the commandments. He said, for this is our life. In Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. He said that's choosing life, is choosing his commandments. The problem is we didn't choose to be obedient to his commandments. That's why we got in this position to begin with. Genesis chapter 3, verse 22.
Chapter 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 22. Come.
Next, brother, Revelation 22 and 14.
Genesis.
Next, brother, Ecclesiastes 19 and 19. Read that.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 22 reads, And the Lord power said, Behold, the man is become as one of us.
You know when we had when we had to fight negative, when negative was introduced in the world, and we fell victim to negative. So from that day forward, since Adam made that mistake, we had to make better choices from that day forward. We didn't know what evil was. We never knew what evil was. We never knew what evil thinking was. We never knew what rebellion was or disobedience was. But when Adam made that mistake, he says the man become what?
As one of us.
Read.
To know good and
He
evil.
said now, because we were rebellious, he says our eyes were open to what?
Evil.
Good and evil. So now when we only knew good, we only knew positive, we only knew righteousness, because we touched sin, now we have to make a choice now. When before we never had to make a choice. We only knew what was good. We only knew what was positive. We only knew what was possible. So now we have to make decisions every day. So now life is about decisions. What decision do I make today? Do I allow myself to get negative, or do I allow myself to think positive and good? Now I got to make a choice every single day. When before, we didn't have to make a choice every day. We only knew what was good. Read on.
And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever.
It says now the only way that we can get eternal life, we've been shut out of it. He says you got to take of the tree of life and do what?
And eat and live forever.
So how can I get access to the tree of life? Now go to Revelation chapter 22, verse 14.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. It says, Blessed are they that do his commandments,
It says, blessed are they that do his commandments. Read on.
that they may have rights to the tree of life.
What's going to give me access to the tree of life? It's keeping the commandments. What got us away from the tree of life? Not keeping the commandments. He says, so what gives us the opportunity to be back in the race for eternal life is now us going back to do what we should have been doing from the very beginning, which is be obedient. But give me Ecclesiastes chapter 19, verse 19.
Ecclesiastes 19 and 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
Now, if I want to have access to eternal life and recover from the mistakes we made from the beginning of time, he says we have to go back to what?
The commandments
He said, read
of
it
the
again.
Lord. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
Now, he says the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord, hidden within the commandments, is a certain knowledge. And if I obtain and give my mind to the Most High's wisdom and his knowledge and his understanding, he says in it is the doctrine of what? Is the teaching of what?
Of life.
So hidden within the
doctrine of life.
Hidden within the knowledge is the medicine that we need to obtain eternal life. But we have to consume and be about being obedient to the commandments at this point. Not the negative that's in my own head. I have to convert my thoughts from thinking about thoughts that just are depressive, that are negative, that are consuming. I now have to give my mind over to the Most High and his teaching and his doctrine. And hidden within it is the medicine of life, is the doctrine of life. Read on.
And they that do things that please him.
And if I adopt the Most High's way of doing things, and I make a decision to please the Father, to be obedient to his commandments. Read on.
Shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
And what do I have access to?
Immortality.
And what gives me the ability to eat of that fruit? The fact that I've done what?
They that do the things that please him.
Is the fact that I adopt the scriptures. I meditate on the Most High's wisdom, and I keep doing the things that please him. I stay obedient to him. Then that tree of immortality opens back up to me. But there's a catch. Give me 2 Ezra 3:20. But there is a catch. There is a but.
All right. 2 Ezra chapter 3 and verse 20. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart.
It said, but we still got a what?
A wicked heart.
Read on.
That thy law might bring forth fruit in them.
So there's a problem. How can the knowledge of the Most High, which opens me up to eat of the tree of immortality, how can it take root in me if I maintain what?
A wicked heart.
A wicked heart. If you understand what you're reading, the tree of righteousness, of life that brings immortality, cannot take root in us as long as we have a what?
Wicked heart.
We have a wicked heart. That means that it'll prevent the growth of what we're supposed to be eating from, which is his word, which is his understanding and his wisdom. Our wicked mind will prevent us from being allowed to eat of the tree of immortality. We'll never get to eat of the tree of immortality because I walk around and I possess a what? A wicked mind. This is the same thing that the Most High said of why he didn't let the children of Israel go into the promised land. It was the same thing that prevented them from walking into the land of Canaan. We're going to prove it. Hebrews chapter 3. And read verse 3. Hebrews chapter 3 and read just straight to the point, 18 and 19.
Hebrews chapter 3, verse 18. And to whom sweareth he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief.
It says they didn't come in because of what?
Unbelief.
And where did the unbelief come from? Jump up to verse 8.
Verse 8. Harden not your hearts, as in the provocation, in the day of temptation in the wilderness.
It says, what can happen to us today that happened to the children of Israel then? You can develop a hardened heart. The hardened heart prevented salvation before, and a hard heart can prevent salvation now. So if I hold on to a negative way of thinking, it can stop me from getting to the tree of immortality. It will never take root in me. The opportunity that I have will be nullified by a negative mind. So if we understand how critical staying positive is, we can't let ourselves develop the same negative thought process that prevented us from the kingdom before. We got to fix what's in here. Now go back to Josephus, chapter 3. Book 3, paragraph, chapter 1, paragraph 3. But line 12.
Antiquity of the Jews, book 3, chapter 1, paragraph 3, line 12, page 79. And by fixing their attention upon nothing but their present misfortunes.
And what will always keep me in a negative mind? Read it again.
And by fixing their attention upon nothing but their present misfortunes.
What will keep us in a negative mind?
Present misfortunes.
When we only focus on our what?
Present misfortunes.
What does that mean? That means I can't stop thinking about my current condition. I'm so hyper-focused on my current condition being unhappy and sucks and it's no good and I'm not happy, I'm not joyful, I don't like my status, I don't like my circumstance, I don't like the position I'm in, I don't like where the Most High has me at. All we're doing is focusing on what's not good. And as long as you keep focusing on what's not good around you, you'll never get opportunity to eat of that tree of immortality. Because you'll have the same hard heart that we had in the wilderness. That's what keeps our heart hard and wicked. Is that we can never expand and look at the big picture and realize that my condition is only temporary. This is not forever. It's only temporary. I may not like where the Most High has me at, but I'm okay with it. I'm content with it. But what Moses had to do was alter people's minds that were fixated on negative circumstances. Read that again.
It says, and by fixing their attention upon nothing but their present misfortunes.
Go ahead.
They had hindered from remembering what deliverances they had received from the Most High.
What prevented the children of Israel from being positive?
Remembering the Most High.
All of the tribulation, affliction they were going through.
The conditions, the hardships.
Right.
The fact that I'm suffering keeps me in a negative mind frame. And I forget all the good that the Most High has done for me thus far. We talked about it on the Sabbath class, about how in 2 Peter chapter 3, he talks about, he said, I stir up your pure mind by way of remembrance. Get that verse real quick. Get that verse. It's in 2 Peter chapter 3. Read 1 through 3. We talked about this
3, verse 1.
on the Sabbath class.
This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you in both which I stir up your pure mind.
He says, I'm writing this letter to you because I'm writing this to you because I got to stir up your pure mind. Go ahead.
By way of remembrance.
What's the only way that our people are going to be reminded that the Most High is accessible to them? Somebody has to stir their memory up. Somebody has to be able to say, hey, you shouldn't think this way because look at what the Most High did in this situation. You shouldn't have a negative outlook because look at what the Most High did in that situation. Look how the Most High came through for you in the clutch. Did you forget all the good that the Most High has done for you? We do. Somebody has to stir that positive mind up, because it's like the positive mind settles to the bottom of our mind, and everything else is negative, but the good is at the bottom. All the sweet things the Lord did is at the bottom of the mind. Somebody got to go in there and stir that pot up like stirring Kool-Aid up. You got to get that sugar mixed up. Otherwise, it's watery on top. But our people need that. Somebody got to remind you, hey, man, the Lord's been good to you. What about this situation? What about that situation? If I have 80% of negative flowing through my mind, I'll never be able to think about the Most High in a pure light, in the light necessary to please Him. Yes, sir. It's mucky. It's murky. It's cloudy. Somebody got to go in and say, hey, man, the Lord didn't abandon you. I read something today where this guy wrote a comment, and it was about inspiration on YouTube. It was in the comments. He said, my mother used to lock me in the room as a kid for days. And the only hope that I had was a ray of sunlight that came under the door. And he said that ray of sunlight that came under the door was the presence of Jesus Christ. And I held on. He says that was the only thing that let me know that I wasn't forgotten and I wasn't abandoned, is because that crack of light that came in under the door gave me hope that I wasn't alone. And he said that light, he felt like, stayed with him one time, even when the sun went down. And he said that was God's presence with me. This dude, as a kid, held on to a speck of sunlight that flashed under the door, being locked in the room for days. So it's what you tell yourself. It's what you feed yourself. Some people got to hold on to a flicker of light. We know it's true, because did not those that in the New Testament just went in the shadow of Paul was healed in their infirmities? Who said that if I could just let their shadow pass over me, I'll be healed. And weren't they healed just from the shadow being passed over them? It's what you tell yourself. Or you can meditate constantly on negativity, and you will be consumed by that negativity, and you'll take yourself out of the running for immortality. Or you can let somebody stir up your mind to get you back thinking positive again. You got to let somebody teach you how to think positive all over, especially as the world gets negative. Read on.
Verse 2. That ye may be mindful.
It says that ye may be mindful. It says I got to stir up your pure mind by way of remembrance, that ye be mindful of what?
Of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets.
Go ahead.
And of the commandments of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior.
So he's showing you it's necessary for somebody to stir up the positivity in us. It must be stirred up. We meditate on so much negative throughout the day, we get overcome by negative, consumed by negative. You have to let somebody go in there and stir up what's good, what's positive, what's right, what's fair, what's equitable, what's just, what's possible. So now let that go back to where we was in the Josephus.
Antiquity of the Jews, Book 3, Chapter 1, Paragraph 3, line 12. And by fixing their attention upon nothing but their present misfortune.
I got to stop looking at my present misfortune. My present misfortune is only temporary. My condition that I don't like, that I'm in, is only temporary. It's not forever. The job that I have is only temporary. The money that I make is only temporary. My living condition is only temporary. We got to stop just focusing on the small and open up our lens and look at the big picture. Yes, sir.
It shows that we got a lot of free time in our mind
Yeah, but it's oppressive free time.
now. Yeah, that idleness teacher much bigger. So we thinking so much about the negative. We're not focusing on what's needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is what made Moses great. Moses knew how to shake them out of their negativity. Read.
It says, and by fixing their attention upon nothing but their present misfortune.
How? How did Moses do it?
They were hindered from remembering what deliverances they had received from the Most High.
So when I'm always thinking about my negative circumstance, I forget how good the Lord is. Moses knew how to remind them of how good the Lord is, to shake them out of that thought process. That's what made Moses so great. Give me finish that real quick.
It says, and those by the virtue and wisdom of Moses also. So they were very angry at their conductor and were zealous in their attempt to stone them as the direct occasion of their present misery.
Because once we go into a situation we don't like, we hit a wall, what are we looking for? Blame. Whose fault is it that I'm in a situation that I don't like? Now I'm looking for the blame. You're the blame. That's what we do naturally. Give me Galatians chapter 5, verse 22.
Okay.
Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 reads, but the fruit of the Spirit is love.
It said, but the fruit of the Spirit is what?
Love.
You know what the Most High does? The Most High has fruits of the Spirit that are accessible to us to keep us from being negative. You have to adopt them. You have to study them. You have to entertain the fruits of the Spirit. You have to meditate on the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit are the tools that the Most High left behind, that if we adopt these fruits, eat of these fruits of the Spirit, it will keep our mind from being negative. One of them is what?
Love.
How do we know that love can keep your mind from being negative? Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. And give me verse 7.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4.
Read that.
Charity suffereth long.
Charity, another definition of charity, agape, is love. It says, but if you have enough love in you, you'll suffer a situation for what?
Long.
It means I'll endure situations that I'm not comfortable with. I'll do it out of love. Love will keep me enduring the things that I don't like enduring. Love will help me stay positive when I want to be negative. Love will sustain me when my mind turns sour. Love will help me overcome bitterness when I want to quit on people. He said love, go ahead.
Charity suffereth long.
Go ahead.
And is kind.
And when I want to be angry and I want to stone people, but if I got love in my heart, I'll turn around and do what?
And is kind.
I'll turn around and be kind when I don't want to be kind. Only love can make you do things that you don't want to do mentally. Only love can help convert when you've suppressed your mind with so much evil and you want to act out on people and you want to throw stones at people. Love will help you overcome that negative thinking. So you gotta eat the fruits of the Spirit and become the fruits of the Spirit and adopt them so that you can, as the medicine to not give into a negative mind. Verse 7.
Verse 7. Beareth all things.
It says, and if I have enough love in me, I can put up with what?
All things.
I can put up with all things. All negative things won't get the best of me. I can overcome any negative situation. That's just one of the fruits of the Spirit. So the fruits of the Spirit, the Most High left behind and are accessible to us to keep us out of a negative mind. You can only stay out of a negative mind when you understand how powerful these fruits are. He says, endureth all things, it beareth all things. What else?
Believeth all things.
Do I fall into despondency when I got enough love in me? Do I want to quit on people or quit on the Most High? Do I want to stop action and not do anything and stop trying? No. Love will carry you through what your negative mind don't want you to allow to go through. It'll take you past what your mind tells you you can't go and do. Where you're resistant, where you feel like, man, I'm not good at this. I'm no good and it's not going to work. I don't know why the Most High got me in this situation. I'm going to fail like everybody else. I don't have enough in me. Well, obviously, you got to get more fruits of the Spirit. If you get more of the fruits of the Spirit, you can overcome all things. You can bear all things. Believe all things. What else?
Hopeth all things.
Despondency is to lose hope. If I have enough love in me, I will never lose what?
Hope.
I will never lose hope. See, the answers to overcoming, defeating the negative mind is in the fruits of the Spirit. These are virtues that we sleep on, that we don't recognize how powerful they are in keeping the mind pure. They're medicines, like antibiotics for sin. They keep your mind positive when you want to be negative. Yes, sir.
You know, like 6 elements is water, wind, fire, right? So this would be love, hope, courage, faith.
There's more. Yeah. These are just some of the virtues that we're explaining. We're just showing how powerful one of them is. It said one of them believeth all things, endureth all things, hopeth all things. What else?
Endureth all things.
Will you ever quit if you got enough love in you? Will you ever fall to a desponding mind frame? No. You'll never quit when you got enough love in you. The problem is we sleep on these fruits. We sleep on these virtues. This is just one of them. One of them will cause you to stay positive. Imagine when you adopt all of them. And there's one that hangs all the other ones. Is the backbone of all the other ones. Yeah. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8. Read verse 5 through 7.
All right. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 and verse 5 through 7. It says, if riches be a possession.
If money is to be valued and sought after and worked for in this life, read on.
If riches be a possession to be desired in this life.
If people chase money, read on.
What is richer than wisdom?
It says, what's greater than wisdom? If people break their back and go to any length and extent to get a check, how far and how much work should they be doing to get wisdom? How much more valuable is it? Read.
It says, if riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is richer than wisdom?
It ain't nothing richer than wisdom. Just as bad as we want to get paid and get bigger and better jobs, we should want to just be just as equally as bad pursuing wisdom. Read on.
There worketh all things.
It said wisdom work all things. Read.
And if prudence work, who of all that is a more cunning workman than she?
It says prudence is caution, but not necessarily faith. Read on.
And if a man love righteousness, her labors are virtues.
But if I care about being righteous in the eyes of the Most High, then I'm working not towards riches and money, but I'm working toward acquiring virtues. This is what I'm working for. Why are these virtues so important? Read on.
For she teacheth temperance.
It says because only virtues can teach what?
Temperance.
Money can't teach you temperance. Money doesn't teach you temperance. Temperance is the ability to not crack under pressure. Read on.
And prudence.
Prudence is self-restraint and caution. What else?
justice,
Justice is treating people equally, fair. Read on.
and fortitude.
Fortitude is a virtue that we find out that if you're missing fortitude, you will have a major problem in life. What is fortitude?
God,
Let's find out. Let's get the definition.
God. Fortitude. 1828, Webster Dictionary. That strength or firmness of mind.
It says fortitude. Money can't give you a strength or fortitude of mind.
Right.
It can't teach you how to be strong inwardly. It says fortitude can teach you how to be strong on the inside. He says strength and firmness of mind, where your mind doesn't quit, it doesn't break, it doesn't want to give up. You don't settle for weakness. Read on.
That strength or firmness of mind or soul which enables a person to encounter danger.
It says it gives me the strength to encounter what?
Danger.
What didn't the children of Israel have to go to the land of Canaan?
Fortitude.
They didn't have any fortitude. It's what they was missing. This is why they said the water's too deep,
Yeah.
the hills are too high, the walls are too thick, and the people are too big. They're giants. All of these things are a lack of fortitude. And when you have a lack of fortitude, you quit easy. You give up easy. You tell yourself, I can't do it. This is too much. Read on.
God. It says, that strength or firmness of mind or soul which enables a person to encounter danger with coolness
It
and
says,
courage.
I can encounter danger with what?
With coolness and courage.
Oh, Moses, you said go to Canaan? You said go take it? Go to war with them? No problem. Let's do it. I can go into this battle with coolness and courage.
God.
Read on.
Or to bear pain or adversity without murmuring.
It says, and if I understand the power of fortitude, I can put up with a situation that brings me pain. It says, or adversity. Without what?
Without murmuring.
I don't have to cry about my situation. Why does everybody cry about their situation and condition? Because they lack something.
Fortitude.
They lack fortitude. Fortitude keeps you quiet in the worst case scenario. Fortitude allows you to hold yourself down when you're in a situation that's like, man, I don't like this and it's causing me discomfort. I kind of want to blame somebody. I kind of want to murmur like the children of Israel did to Moses. I kind of want to stone somebody. I kind of want to go off. But fortitude keeps you composed. It keeps you quiet in a worst case scenario. Yes, sir.
I don't know if you're going to go there. In the definition?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know. It. Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
God. You want to finish that?
Yeah, we're going to keep going.
It's kind of. It says, or to bear pain or adversity without murmuring.
It says, I can bear pain or adversity without what?
Without murmuring.
Read on.
Depression.
It says, I can bear pain with no depression, without murmuring, talking back, looking for somebody to blame. What else?
Or despondency.
Or what?
Despondency.
We read that earlier. The children of Israel, as soon as we got into one situation where the fruit didn't look good, we was running out of provisions, we fell into despondency. Fortitude keeps you from despondency. We sleep on the power of the fruits of the Spirit and virtues. We sleep on its power. That means I could be in a situation that's uncomfortable for a very long time. You know how long we've been working the mall? Well, some of us were successful and some of us wasn't. Some of us were not good at it. Some of us was. And for those that weren't good at it, they looked at the mall like what? Like hell, man. They looked at the mall like hell. Like selling oils is hell, man. It's like, damn, I got to go to work. Why? Because I ain't good at it. But you know what I never developed in the process? I never developed fortitude. I never knew how to go to work and not get mad at the people because they tell me I'll be back. I never got over the fact that they tell me, nah, I'm cool, man, I'm good. I don't wear that. I don't like being told no and rejected. So I let that get to me. But for those that had fortitude, they developed virtues on the job.
Yeah.
Your no didn't bother me. I always say a sale don't start until you tell me no. We could be talking, shooting the breeze, and you can talk about sports. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
But when I bring you to this product and you tell me no, that's when the sale just getting started. That's when the fun begins. Because now it's a struggle for will. Faith. My faith versus your faith. I know the Most High with me. Is your God going to be whoever you believe in? Are they going to be with you? Because I know my God is with me. So at the end of this conversation, I'm about to bless you up with a beautiful aroma. And you, in exchange, you about to commit something to the church body. But I wasn't tripping that you said no. I wasn't tripping that you didn't like, you say you don't wear cologne. I'm not tripping that you say you don't wear that stuff. Oh, I tried that already. I'm not tripping on none of that. None of that bothers me. None of that. Because there's something that I understand. There's a developed mind frame of, and I watch men do this all the time. Your no doesn't trigger me. Or your disgust, your harmful words, your hate don't trigger me. It doesn't affect me. Things that are hard to deal with and to endure cannot affect you if you develop these virtues. One of them that's very strong, that I don't think we focus on enough, is fortitude.
Right.
Fortitude can help you stay positive when the situation is negative. Read on.
Right. It says, fortitude is the basis or source.
Stop. It said it's the basis or source of what?
Of genuine courage.
It says courage even has a root source. It has a birthplace. The birthplace of courage is what? Is fortitude.
Right.
It gives birth to courage. That means it's the origin and the basis and the foundation of courage. Fortitude is courage in action. Read.
Right. It says, or intrepidity in danger.
It says, or intrepidity.
Intrepidity
In
in danger.
Which means I'm bold, even in a dangerous situation. And to be intrepid means to be bold. Even in a situation that's uncomfortable or dangerous, I still have confidence. Fortitude helps me override all negative situations. Read on.
It says, of patience in suffering.
It says, and it allows me to be patient when I'm what?
Suffering.
When I'm suffering. What do our people miss?
Patience.
Patience, man. But patience comes from what? Fortitude.
Fortitude.
Fortitude gives birth to courage, and fortitude gives birth to patience.
Right.
Both of them come from fortitude. That means I can go against I can be in a scenario that's uncomfortable. I can suffer for a long period of time. Look at Joseph in Egypt. Look at Moses with the children of Israel, 40 years in the wilderness. Look at Isaac. Look at Jacob with Laban, having to work all these years for this man for free. Jeremiah been putting chains, stocks. Ezekiel losing his wife. The Most High told him, man, in the morning, I'm going to take the apple of your eye. He said, and don't shed a tear. He said, and put on your shoes and go teach, and don't cry one tear. Man, he said, how can you suffer these things? You have to have something in you to endure all negative situations. Finish that?
It says, or forbearance under injuries.
It says, or I know how to forbear, hold myself back, even when I'm being injured. Read on. It's almost like meekness. Read.
It says, and of magnanimity in all conditions of life.
It says, and it helps me stay composed in all conditions of life.
Right.
That means it doesn't matter my living situation. It doesn't matter my money. It doesn't matter my relationship. It doesn't matter my friendship, my job, whatever. Nothing changes me from knowing that the Most High is with me. And nothing robs me of my confidence. Nothing's going to make me quit. If we make fortitude a valuable possession. Finish that?
God, it says, we sometimes confound the effect with the cause
Go ahead.
and use fortitude as synonyms with courage or patience.
It says we often confuse courage as fortitude, but they're different. Fortitude and courage, yes, they're similar, but they're not the same, is what it's saying. Read on.
God, it says, but courage is an active virtue or vice.
He says courage is an active virtue. So when you put fortitude in motion, that's called courage. It's when you act on fortitude, act out of fortitude, it's called courage. Read on.
God. And patience is the effect of fortitude.
And if you have fortitude and you bear pain for a long time, the outcome is patience. It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to be patient in bad conditions. Read on.
God. Fortitude is the guard and support of all the other virtues.
Stop. How powerful is fortitude? It said fortitude is the guard and the what?
And support of the other virtues.
All the other virtues, joy, meekness, temperance, long-suffering, patience, they all are sustained off of what?
Fortitude.
All fortitude. They all come from fortitude.
Platform of strength.
Yes. They give birth to all the other virtues. Man, if we understand what the Most High wanted out of out of Israel, coming into the land of Canaan, all we needed was just a little bit of fortitude. That's all we needed. And the Most High would have not done away with us if we would have just encountered danger the way that He wanted us to. The Most High wanted to quit on us. Now go back to Numbers chapter 14. I want you to read. He wanted to quit on us for what wasn't in us. Give me Numbers chapter 14. Give me verse 21.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 21 reads, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles,
It said they all seen my glory, my miracles. Read on.
which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times.
He said, man, they keep on tempting me over and over and over. They keep acting like I don't exist. I can't help them. They keep going into the spirit of despondency. They keep wanting to quit. They keep saying what's not possible. They keep complaining and murmuring at Moses. Read on.
And have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers.
He says, surely they're not going to see the land that I swear to their fathers. What is the Most High saying, man? They lack one thing. They lack the fortitude necessary to overcome their enemies in their condition. Read on.
Neither shall any of them that provoke me see it, but my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him.
Stop. Earlier we read that Joshua, it said in him was the spirit. What spirit was in Joshua that it didn't say that we read about now? Fortitude. Joshua had fortitude when the other spies didn't. There was only one other person that had another spirit, and that was Caleb. Joshua was an Ephraimite. Caleb was a Judite. Only these two had fortitude. They had the state of mind necessary to encounter their enemies. He says, but Caleb, go ahead.
Come. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and have followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it.
So the only two that the Most High said that would be guaranteed survivors out of this whole thing when it's said and done is Joshua and Caleb, because they possess something. They possess fortitude. Fortitude brings you to salvation. Fortitude keeps you from quitting. Fortitude allows you to bear pain without developing a negative mentality. Fortitude keeps you from stoning and blaming the people that cause you to face your fears. Fortitude endures all these things. It gives you courage in the face of adversity. So the blessing comes to those that possess fortitude and understand the importance of it. Give me Philo, because I wanted to finish this point. 351. And this part right here. It says, it says the whole heart.
Okay.
It says Caleb himself.
And Caleb himself was charged wholly and entirely, for as the scripture says, a new spirit was in him, as if the dominant part in him had been changed into complete perfection.
It says, what made Caleb special when he talks about Caleb following the Most High with his whole heart? He says the dominant part was changed into what? Perfection. Normally, what dominates our mind?
Fear.
Negative. So in order for me to develop fortitude, there has to be a conversion. That means the dominant part, which is the fleshly part, which is the part that says, I can't, I quit, this is too much. He said it must be changed into what? Perfection. How do you do that? Read. Or how did he do that? Read.
For the name Caleb, being interpreted, means the whole heart. And a proof of this is to be gathered from the fact that the mind is changed.
He says that the mind is changed when?
Not by being biased and inclining in one particular direction.
It says not when the mind isn't changed when you only follow what you see, when what you see is biased by the flesh. Read.
Or the other, but wholly and entirely in the direction which is good.
It says the mind or the heart is changed to perfection when you can only think about the good. When you can train your mind to only think positive. That should be everybody's homework. How can I write it down? Can I train my mind? Because this is what the Most High said Caleb was able to do that made him special to inherit salvation. He was able to, he said he followed me with his whole heart. That means that I only see the good in everything. Can I train my mind to only think about what's possible? Only think about what's good and not give in to what's negative. You will catch yourself falling victim to negative thoughts easily. But at least if we could be conscious of it, we can have some ammunition to fight with. Can I train myself to think positive all day, every day? Can I do it? How long can I do it? What is it going to take for me to do it? So that my mind can be unbiased. That should be everybody's homework. Can I think positive all day? And not look at any situation and any circumstance negative. Read.
It says, and that, even if there is anything which is not very praiseworthy indeed, it makes that to depart by arguments conducive to repentance.
It says, even if I'm in a situation that's not praiseworthy, it says, I don't care, I'm going to still change, simply because I don't want to fall victim to a negative mentality. Read on.
For having in this manner washed off all the defilements which polluted it.
It says, so in order to do that, you have to wash your mind from all the defilements that what?
Polluted it.
Go ahead.
And having availed itself of the baths and purifications of wisdom, it must inevitably look brilliant.
He said, if you clean your mind up, you'll make your mind look brilliant. You have the power to clean your mind and make it look brilliant. He says this is what's made, he's basically explaining metaphorically, this is what made Caleb special. That he was able to just walk around with a positive mind. Even when the Most High told him, hey, go to war with these giants. How do you know this is true? We're going to end this with this verse. Go to Numbers chapter 13, last verse, 14, and start at verse 6. How do you know he trained his mind to do so? Or these two individuals trained their mind to do so? Read that.
14 and 6.
14 and 6.
Numbers chapter 14, verse 6. And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh,
So these two men only, read on.
which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes.
It says when they saw that the people wanted to blame Moses and they started growing into despondency and they were crying and weeping that they couldn't do it and they thought it was impossible, he said these two men rent their clothes. Read on.
And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Most High delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us.
It says if we give the Most High his pleasure, he'll give us the land and reward us with it. Read on.
A land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Most High, neither fear ye the people of this land.
It says don't rebel against the Most High, and neither what?
Fear ye the people of this land, for they are bread for us.
It says because they believe, only Joshua and Caleb believed that these people were bread and we could eat off this land and eat off the resources of these people. And they didn't look at the situation in a negative way. They didn't look at going to war negative. They didn't look at facing the giants negative. They looked at every situation positive. This is how you know that they train their mind a certain way. Read on.
He said, for their defense is departed from them, and the Most High is with us. Fear them not.
It says, fear them not. Don't be afraid of them. Only two men have this mind frame. But in order to have this mind frame, you have to practice thinking positive all the time. That's the only way you're going to get fortitude. You gotta rewash what you consume yourself with as far as negative. How much negative do you let flow through your mind? Christ said it in Matthew chapter 6. He says the light of the body is the eye. And if the eye be full of light, the whole body, if the eye be light, the whole body be full of light. He said, but if the eye be darkness, he said, how great is that darkness? Meaning, if you let a little negative in, Christ asked, how much did you let in? Because a little leaven at the lump. So the objective, in order to inherit fortitude, you have to retrain your mind to think about every situation and scenario in a positive light, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it causes pain, even if you're having to suffer a little bit. Finish that.
Verse 9
But once again, when you push people to have faith, and you push people past what their perceived limits, read on.
Verse 10. It says, but all the congregation, they stoned them with stones.
Now they wanted to kill who?
That's what they did.
Joshua and Caleb. They already wanted to kill Moses and Aaron and the priests. But as soon as Joshua and Caleb said, hey, believe in the Most High, be strong. Follow the Most High, give him his glory. Don't be afraid. Now they want to kill Joshua and Caleb. Our people always want to do away with the people that push us to strength. That's sad. But that's why the Most High said only Joshua and Caleb get the kingdom. Because they developed a mentality of fortitude that came with learning how to think positive on every situation. And we have to train ourselves to do so. Because we could be disqualified from salvation the same way they were. We have to train our mind. Think about the good of everything. Ephesians said too, or Philippians chapter 2. It said, whatsoever things are positive, whatsoever things are good. He said, think on these things. Whatsoever things are pure. We got to learn how to rethink our thoughts, recalibrate our thinking. And if we do so, There's a benefit to it. All right. With that, we're going to say shalom. And the water for those online. Good to see everybody online. We'll be back in action on Friday. And shalom to everybody in class. I know it's a little late, but we started a little late. I want to say shalom. All right. We out.